Chapter 2404. Lin Yi's out again? Meng Yao was puzzled as she prepared to make a call. Don't call yet. Yushu stopped Meng Yao suddenly. The car's at home, so Shield Bro must be nearby. If he's not at home, then he must be at Han Jingjing's. Maybe they're making pills, let's not disturb him. Meng Yao nodded, surprised. She had to admit that Shu was quite good at analyzing things, figuring out Lin Yi's whereabouts from small details. I'm going to buy some food. Yushu's eyes flashed with worry, but it was gone in a flash. Then I'll go with you. Meng Yao was already out of the villa, so it didn't matter if she went with Yushu. Don't. Yushu said subconsciously, startled. Meng Yao looked at Yushu, confused. What I meant was that Yao Yao should stay at home and wait for Shield Bro. He'll think that we've been kidnapped when he comes back and sees that we're gone, and his car's gone. Yushu explained. Oh, that's true. I'll wait for Lin Yi then. Meng Yao nodded. Yushu breathed out in relief as she got into the car and drove Lin Yi's jeep out of Meng Yao's sight. Meng Yao watched the car leave, frowning as she stood in front of the villa for a long time, thinking about something. She shook her head after a while and walked into the villa. In a small tea house near the university town, a girl was sitting opposite a mysterious old man. The girl was trying her best to stay calm, but there was a hint of nervousness in her eyes. What's going on? Why isn't he dead yet? The old man frowned. Didn't I tell you to poison him? Why is he still fine? He's even talking to the hidden house Xiao. The girl hesitated. He's a doctor, and a refiner as well. He was the one who solved the poisoning incident in Songshan's first school. He even tasted the poison himself. In other words, this poison has no effect on him, or he has already solved it himself. The old man's expression softened a little after listening, then he nodded and said, he didn't suspect you? I don't think so. If he's suspicious, he probably suspects that there's something wrong with the tea leaves. Perhaps there are pesticides on them that haven't been washed clean, the girl said carefully. I understand. The old man nodded noncommittally and said, I expected this situation as well. It's just a test. Using poison to kill is easier, but the others are more troublesome. Oh, then, why don't we not kill them? They're quite hard to kill. If we don't kill them properly and get exposed, it won't be fun, right? The girl suggested. What? You can't bear to? The old man's eyes lit up as he looked at the young girl in front of him. How? How is that possible? The girl shook her head innocently. I'm just afraid that I can't kill him. He just exposed himself. You know, he's very powerful. Don't forget who you are. The old man coldly snorted and threatened, your life and death is up to me. It's also in my hands. I'm sure you know the consequences of not having the antidote. It's death. I know. The girl nodded silently. Forget it. Since he's so powerful, then we'll use another trick. The old man said, this is a bottle of sleeping pills blended with benzoin and an antidote. Put it in the tea and it'll make him sleep soundly. It's colorless and odorless, so he shouldn't be able to detect it. You'll be fine after taking the antidote. Otherwise, you'll also fall asleep. What's the use of this? The girl asked curiously. Of course it's useful. After he falls asleep, stab him to death with a knife. The old man said lightly, he's an inner force cultivator. When he's asleep, he doesn't have chi to protect his body. One stab and he'll die. The girl didn't expect the old man to come up with such a method. Is there a problem? The old man didn't give the girl time to answer. He asked directly. No. The girl smiled bitterly. She took the sleeping pills from the old man and carefully put them in her pocket. All right, I'll wait for the good news. The old man stood up and left the tea house first. As for the young lady, she sighed with a responsible look in her eyes. She turned around and waved at the waiter. Waiter, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing finally finished refining the pills. It could be said that the entire process was very successful. At least, it seemed to be very successful. Han Jingjing strictly followed her formula and the cauldron didn't show any strange phenomena. In the end, the cauldron emitted waves of fragrance, which meant that the herbs in the cauldron were about to become pills. Phew. Han Jingjing heaved a sigh of relief. It's a success. But Jing is a little nervous. I wonder how many meridian unblocking pills I can make. Hee, as long as I can make more than 3 pills, it's a victory. Lin Yi was more calm. After all, if Han Jingjing could make more pills than she needed, it was a success. She was much better than other alchemists. And brother Lin Yi always comforts Jing. Han Jingjing carefully opened the cauldron and subconsciously counted the number of pills inside. 1, 2, 3, 7. It's even more than the previous first-grade pills. Han Jingjing couldn't help but cry out in surprise. Her highest record was double the number of pills. This time, she actually made more than double the number of pills. Moreover, they were second-grade pills. How could she not be surprised? Congratulations, Jing. Looks like you're getting more and more proficient at it. Although Lin Yi didn't appear too excited, he was actually very happy. Han Jingjing's attainments in alchemy were amazing, which meant that Lin Yi was amazing. It's not that Jing is getting better at it. It's that brother Lin Yi is helping me. Otherwise, Jing wouldn't be able to do it. Not only would I fail, I wouldn't be able to make 7 pills out of 3 sets of ingredients, Han Jingjing said. That's right. Let's find some time to make the lesser qi gathering pill. Hopefully, with these 5 sets of ingredients, we can create another miracle and make 12 pills, Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded. Let's recover our qi and stamina first. After that, I have to go back. Alchemy took up a lot of time. I haven't told Yao and the others. Don't think that I'm missing, Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing listened to whatever Lin Yi said. It was as if she had no opinion of her own. Chapter 2405. But after leaving Lin Yi, she seemed to still have her own insights. Even the master refiners wouldn't be able to grasp her methods. After recovering their strength with Han Jingjing, Lin Yi took the pill and 9 meridian opening pills back to his villa. He saw Meng Yao sitting on the sofa as soon as he entered the house. She didn't turn on the TV, nor did she turn on the lights in the living room. Lin Yi jumped when he saw her sitting on the sofa. Yao? What are you doing? Lin Yi blinked. Ah. Lin Yi, you're back. Meng Yao snapped out of her stupor. She didn't even notice Lin Yi enter the house, and only now did she realize how dark the living room was. December's sky darkened faster and earlier. There was still light in the living room when Meng Yao sent Yushu away, but now it was completely dark. I'll go turn on the lights, I'll do it. Lin Yi was at the doorway, closer to the light switch. He turned it on. Where's Shu? Did she drive the car in the yard? And, Yao, what were you doing? Shu went to buy food. Meng Yao hesitated, but seemed to have made up her mind. She turned to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, do you have time now? I want to talk to you while Shu's not here. Now? I do. Lin Yi nodded, a little confused. He walked over and sat on the sofa beside Meng Yao. What's wrong? Why do I feel like both of you are acting weird today? Lin Yi thought that Meng Yao was going to talk to him about Wang Xinyan, but Wang Xinyan's matters didn't need to be hidden from Shu, so Lin Yi found it strange. You feel that something's wrong with Shu too? Meng Yao was happy to hear Lin Yi's words. If that's the case, I don't have to explain. I feel that Shu's acting weird too, as if she's hiding something from us. You mean Shu? Didn't you ask her? Lin Yi realized that Meng Yao was talking about Shu's problem. He sighed and said, "It was pretty normal before. I felt like I just went out for a walk." "That's a problem." "Yeah, I think so too," Meng Yao said. "I've asked her a couple of times today, but she's always absent-minded. I've asked her what's wrong, but she won't tell me. I'm a little worried, but I don't know what to do, then." "What do you want to do?" Lin Yi asked, finding Yushu's behavior rather strange today. Especially when she was pouring tea, he had no idea what she was going to do. "I don't know." Meng Yao shook her head. "She wanted to go out to buy food, and I wanted to go with her, but she didn't agree. It's like she's got something on her mind, and she's afraid that I'll ask." "Maybe you could help me ask?" "Me?" Lin Yi pointed at himself in surprise. "Yup, little Shu treats you very well. She'll listen to you," Meng Yao said. "Plus, she likes you." After listening to Meng Yao's words, Lin Yi fell silent. Lin Yi didn't object to what Meng Yao said. Yushu did listen to him, and Yushu would play tricks on everyone except himself. Sometimes, she would even play tricks on Meng Yao. But this didn't mean that Yushu could tell him what was on her mind. Lin Yi had long felt that there was something deeper under Yushu's crazy appearance. She pretended to be a happy little girl, but some things were just too much. "I'll try," Lin Yi said. "I'll find a chance to ask her these 2 days." "Yup, thanks," Meng Yao said. "I'm worried about her like this, no need to thank me." "I'm worried too. She's not just your friend." Lin Yi waved his hand. "She doesn't see me as a part of this family? Then you should thank me too." Meng Yao's mood improved after hearing Lin Yi's promise. "I wanted to thank you." "Right, did you ask Xinyan?" Lin Yi asked. "I did." Meng Yao was so worried about Shu that she would have forgotten about it if Lin Yi didn't bring it up. "I called Xian Yan just now," she said. "She only sees you as a good friend, and she has a fiancé." Lin Yi didn't know what to say, so he quickly said, "I called Xian Yan just now, and she said. She only sees you as a good friend, and she has a fiancé." "Fiancé? Kang Xiaolong?" Lin Yi had always known about it, but he didn't think much of it. House Kang had become yesterday's flower, and there was nothing they could do about it. Dr. Kang's medical company was also on its last legs. This small family was basically on the decline. Why would Xinyan still take this engagement seriously? "Yup, that's what she said. She said that it was her parents who decided it. She didn't want to put them in a difficult position, and she agreed to it," Meng Yao said. "I see." Lin Yi frowned. He felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't put his finger on it. Theoretically speaking, Wang Xinyan and Xiaolong's relationship wasn't very harmonious. Otherwise, if the two had really become a couple, Wang Xinyan's personality wouldn't allow her to do so many ambiguous things with him. Even if she didn't break off their relationship, she wouldn't do it again and again. But with their current relationship, it was only a matter of time before Lin Yi and Xinyan became a couple. Xinyan didn't give a clear answer, but her actions had more or less revealed some problems. But Wang Xinyan refused, and the reason she gave him was so ridiculous, but it made sense at the same time. Marriage, it was a good reason, but Lin Yi felt that it was a little strange. "That's all she said, and she told me not to force her." Meng Yao smiled bitterly. "I'm sorry, I couldn't complete the mission you entrusted to me." "Forget it, it's nothing. Let's focus on Shu's problem first." Lin Yi waved his hand. He wondered if Xinyan had some difficulties. Or was there something she was hiding? But Meng Yao probably wouldn't be able to get an answer out of her, so it was up to Lin Yi to figure it out himself. With that, Lin Yi stood up and walked to the place where Shu knocked over the teacup. He bent down and sniffed the ground, frowning as if he was in deep thought. But after a while, Lin Yi stood up. Before Meng Yao could ask, Lin Yi spoke first. "Don't talk about it. Shu might be back, Lin Yi heard the familiar sound of a car and knew that Shu was back. Okay, let's not talk about it later. Meng Yao stood up and followed Lin Yi out of the villa. Chapter 2406. Yushu had just parked the car when she saw Lin Yi and Meng Yao walking out of the villa together. She jumped. Shield. Shield bro, you're back. You and Yao Yao couldn't wait? No, I just came back. Lin Yi looked at the panicking Shu and his heart skipped a beat. Shu was indeed acting a little strange today. Ah. Let's eat together then, I bought it all. Eat it while it's hot, it'll be bad if it gets cold. Yushu said as she got out of the car. Sure. Lin Yi nodded. He walked into the villa's dining room with Meng Yao and Yushu. Meng Yao was a little surprised when she opened the food Yushu had bought. Shu, you went to a tea restaurant? Yeah. I went to a Hong Kong tea restaurant and bought some snacks and food for a change. Yushu said. That's good, it's been a while since I've eaten these things. Meng Yao nodded. Before Lin Yi moved into the villa, she and Shu would go to restaurants, tea restaurants, and Western restaurants whenever Faubert had something to do. It had been a while since they had that kind of lifestyle. Yeah, that's why Shu bought it today. Shield bro, let's eat together. Shu's hungry. Yushu nodded. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. He got the utensils from the kitchen and sat at the dining table. The three of them started digging in. But, Lin Yi frowned after the first bite of the teriyaki chicken rice Yushu bought. He was about to say something when Yushu asked, Shield bro, how's the taste? Is it good? Oh, it's pretty good. Lin Yi wanted to say something, but decided against it in the end. He lowered his head and went back to eating. That's good. Yushu nodded. Meng Yao blinked curiously as she pondered over the strange conversation between the two. There wasn't anything wrong with the conversation, but Meng Yao felt that something wasn't right. She couldn't put her finger on it, but she didn't know what it was. However, Lin Yi knew that something was amiss. This was because he had tasted a familiar taste from the chicken drumstick rice. Resting grass was exactly what Lin Yi lacked before he started cultivating the art of dragon mastery. It was a very rare medicine. Although Lin Yi had not personally tasted its taste, he had read about it many times from the information. Moreover, Lin Yi still remembered it vividly. He had almost gone mad because of the benzodiac grass, so he naturally could not forget the taste of the benzodiac grass. This time, Lin Yi suddenly tasted this kind of taste in the chicken drumstick rice, and he was a little confused. Although the benzodiac grass had the effect of calming the mind, it was only for the art of dragon mastery. If it were someone else, eating the benzodiac grass would be no different from taking sleeping pills. They would feel sleepy and fall asleep very quickly. There weren't too many side effects, but the person who took it would fall into a deep sleep. Even if there was an earthquake or thunder, they might not wake up. Logically speaking, the benzoin should have taken effect already, but Lin Yi didn't say anything. He and Yao Yao had noticed Yushu's weird behavior a long time ago, and so they decided not to bring it up. They went straight to the bedroom. Yawn. Yushu yawned before turning to Meng Yao. Yao Yao, Shu's sleepy too. Let's go to bed. Okay. Meng Yao nodded and went upstairs with Yushu. Chapter 2407. Meng Yao, however, wasn't as observant as Lin Yi. She didn't realize that Yushu wasn't sleepy at all. Lin Yi went back to his room and started channeling the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. But today, Lin Yi was paying extra attention to the movements in the villa. Shu was too weird today, especially the resting grass in her food. Lin Yi wanted to see what Shu was up to. After channeling the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi suddenly realized that his training efficiency was very high today. Although Lin Yi split a part of his attention to the movements in the villa, today's training was twice the result with half the effort. It was as if Xinyan was training beside him. The speed was so fast that Lin Yi was speechless. But Lin Yi understood after thinking about it. Before practicing the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, he needed the resting grass, but Lin Yi didn't use it and replaced it with something else, causing him to go berserk. After that, he recovered, but Lin Yi still didn't have the resting grass in his body. So now that he suddenly took the resting grass, it had the same effect as before. It allowed him to channel the second stage of the art of dragon mastery more efficiently. This was actually the herb he'd used when he first started using the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, in order to reduce the side effects. But now that he was very familiar with it, the resting grass was twice the result with half the effort. Of course, this was only the first time he used it. The art of dragon mastery didn't mention that the resting grass could help with training. It was only mentioned once. After that, the effects of the resting grass were even more out of Lin Yi's expectations. Lin Yi had just broken through to Earth class mid-phase peak. Logically speaking, stabilizing his strength and breaking through to Earth class mid-phase peak should take a long time. At least, that was the case before. From Earth class mid-phase peak to Earth class mid-phase peak was a lot faster with the help of Sinyan's fragrance. But Lin Yi didn't think that the resting grass would allow him to break through from Earth class mid-phase peak to Earth class late-phase peak. Right now, he was only one step away from Earth class late phase. Lin Yi didn't know if he should laugh or cry. It didn't matter who planted the resting grass, it indirectly helped Lin Yi, stabilizing Lin Yi's training. This feels so good. Lin Yi let out a long sigh of relief. This training speed was almost the same as riding a helicopter. But Lin Yi knew that this kind of opportunity was hard to come by. If he used the resting grass in the future, it wouldn't have this effect anymore. After all, this was a special case. Looking at the time, it was already midnight. He didn't think that time would pass so quickly. Lin Yi sensed the situation in the villa's living room. It was still quiet, there was no movement. But the silence was short. After a while, Lin Yi heard clear footsteps. It was Shu's footsteps. Lin Yi had lived in the villa for a long time, and he could hear Shu's and Yao Yao's footsteps very clearly. Shu was tiptoeing, but Lin Yi could still hear it clearly in the quiet night, and he was using his perception in the jade space. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment before closing his eyes and lying on the bed quietly. His breathing was even as he snored, as if he was in a deep sleep. After a while, Lin Yi's door was opened softly. In the villa, Lin Yi didn't have the habit of locking the door. From the jade space, Lin Yi could see that it was Shu. This didn't surprise Lin Yi, but he was a little surprised. Yushu's face was no longer cute and playful. Instead, it was replaced with worry and nervousness. She stood at the door, thinking about something. After thinking for a long time, she sighed softly and walked into Lin Yi's room. In Yushu's hand, there was a sharp knife. Under the moonlight, it shined with a green light. Yushu quietly came to Lin Yi's side and looked at the sleeping Lin Yi. Her eyes flashed with a complicated expression, as if she was going through the last struggle in her heart. Although Lin Yi was still pretending to be asleep, he was actually paying attention to Yushu's every move. When he saw Yushu walking over with a sharp knife in her hand, he couldn't help but be shocked. Of course, Lin Yi wasn't afraid of the knife in Yushu's hand. He was just shocked. What was Yushu going to do with a knife? In fact, Lin Yi could roughly guess what was going on. Was Shu trying to kill him? This was probably the only explanation. Otherwise, why would Yushu appear in his room with a knife at this time? Especially in the chicken drumstick rice from before, there was the existence of the sleeping medicine, benzoin. Yushu took a deep breath and silently raised the knife in her hand. Her heart was beating fast, and her breathing was rapid. The hand holding the knife was shaking non-stop. One could see how intense the struggle in her heart was. Phew. Yushu finally couldn't endure the pain in her heart anymore. She put down the knife in her hand and breathed heavily. She stared at the sleeping Lin Yi in a daze. After a long time, Yushu calmed down and slowly raised the knife again, aiming at Lin Yi's chest. At this time, Lin Yi finally confirmed that Shu wanted to kill him. But, what reason did she have? Lin Yi couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure it out. If it was said that Shu liked him, then Lin Yi would believe it. But if it was said that Shu could assassinate him, Lin Yi really didn't believe it. All along, Yushu's behavior and their relationship had determined that this would never happen. But, something that shouldn't have happened, just like that? Lin Yi remembered the smell on the floor. It was similar to the smell of poison. Although he wiped it clean, there was still some residue. However, Lin Yi wasn't very sure, and he couldn't lick the floor. But at this moment, Lin Yi also guessed that the tea was probably poisoned by Shu. Otherwise, Shu wouldn't have acted so strangely. After pouring the tea for him, she snatched it away, and when Meng Yao wanted to drink, she reached out and knocked it away. This proved that Shu was actually very conflicted in her heart, and it matched the current situation. Shu's heart must be conflicted. She must have had her own reasons for doing this. Chapter 2408. Lin Yi was confused, but he couldn't think of a good reason. Sigh. Shu seemed to be a little discouraged and sighed softly. She put down the knife and looked at Lin Yi with a layer of mist in her eyes. Her big watery eyes were filled with sadness, a kind of sadness that she had no choice but to do. Lin Yi didn't move. He wanted to see what Shu was going to do. With his strength, he could easily dodge the knife after it landed. Besides, Lin Yi had the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. Even if his heart was pierced, it wouldn't be a big problem as long as he healed in time. Shield bro. Shu still can't do it. Yushu mumbled to herself and shook her head. Shu likes you, Yao Yao likes you too. If you die, Shu will be sad, Yao Yao will be sad too. And Xiao Xiao and Yin Yin sis, they will be sad too. Shu can't bear to see them sad, and I don't want to be sad myself, so. Shu should die. But, I don't know if I can drag. Sigh. Lin Yi was a little surprised. Yushu mumbled to herself for a while. How did it end up with her dying? As for who Yin Yin sis was, Lin Yi didn't have the time to think about it. Yushu's voice was very soft, so Lin Yi guessed that she was talking about Yan Yan sis or Wang Xinyan. Shield bro, Shu loves you. Just when Lin Yi was wondering, Yushu suddenly lowered her body and sealed Lin Yi's mouth with her lips. She quickly pulled away, as if she was afraid of waking Lin Yi up. Yushu's sudden confession and bold action shocked Lin Yi. Although he also felt that Shu seemed to like him, he had never confessed so formally before. He even used the word love instead of like. Alright, although Shu wants to be a mistress for the rest of her life, Shu's not as lucky as Xiao Xiao's. After Shu dies, she'll appear in Shield Bro's dreams and have sex with Shield Bro in her dreams. Yushu continued talking to herself. Lin Yi heard Yushu's words. Lin Yi almost couldn't hold back his laughter. This little Shu, just a moment ago she was so sad, and the next moment she said such a funny thing. It really made Lin Yi speechless. Yushu stared blankly at Lin Yi for a moment before turning around as if she'd made up her mind. She walked towards the door of Lin Yi's room. Her footsteps were heavy and determined, and her petite figure made one's heart ache. Shu. Lin Yi couldn't help but open his eyes and call out to her. Ah. Yushu was shocked. She didn't think that Lin Yi would wake up at this time. Her body froze subconsciously, and the knife in her hand fell to the ground uncontrollably. It made a crisp sound in the quiet night. It was extremely ear-piercing. Shu, what are you doing? Lin Yi tried to make his voice sound calm as if he had just woken up, not sleeping in the middle of the night. What are you doing in my room? What's that on the ground? A knife? Are you trying to kill me? If she really had bad intentions, she wouldn't have spilled the teacup the first time they drank tea, and the second time in his bedroom, she wouldn't have stabbed him with a knife. Perhaps she was forced into a corner, or perhaps she was threatened. Lin Yi could only speculate, Lin Yi didn't force her because he knew that Yushu's trouble wasn't small. Chapter 2409. Lin Yi knew what kind of person she was. In the past, whenever she was in trouble, the first person she thought of was him. But this time, she didn't. She wanted to solve it on her own. This meant that this problem was either something she could solve, or he couldn't solve it. Shu was an extremely smart person. Although she looked dumb every day, Lin Yi knew that it was just a facade. After the facade was torn apart, she wasn't dumb at all. But since Yushu didn't say anything, it meant that the problem she was in was troublesome enough that even Lin Yi couldn't solve it. Or rather, she didn't want him to take the risk. But since Yushu said that she could solve it herself, Lin Yi didn't ask anymore. It's late, Shu. Go to sleep. You still have school tomorrow, Lin Yi said. Okay. Yushu picked up the knife on the ground and walked out of Lin Yi's room quietly. But when she was about to leave, she stopped and turned around hesitantly. Can I not tell Yao Yao? HM. Lin Yi heard Yushu's question and smiled bitterly. It seemed like she knew everything. But still, Lin Yi nodded, okay. The two didn't say it out loud, but they were both smart people. They knew what the other meant. Yushu smiled and left the room. Lin Yi, on the other hand, couldn't fall asleep after Yushu left. He didn't even have the mood to train anymore. He tossed and turned on his bed, thinking about what happened today. The next day, the sun rose, but Shu and Yao Yao didn't wake up on time. It was also because of the benzoa. Lin Yi didn't think too much about it, but Shu was probably pretending to be asleep. She didn't want Yao Yao to know something about her. As expected, it was almost 8. Meng Yao and Yushu rushed down the stairs in a daze. Yushu shouted, we're late, we're late. Why did you oversleep? Lin Yi looked at Yushu's eyes, stunned. He was a doctor, and it was only natural that he could tell that Yushu had overslept, and had only just woken up. She hadn't slept at all last night, and had only overslept when she got home. It was different from Meng Yao, who'd taken the benzoin. What puzzled Lin Yi, however, was that Yushu could actually fall asleep. So many things had happened yesterday. I can't even sleep, but she can. Could it be that yesterday's incident was really over? Could she really handle it? However, no matter what, Xiao Shu had returned to her old self. She was no longer as depressed as before. Perhaps she had thought through some things. Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief, but at the same time, he was a little worried. You're up? I've got breakfast ready. Have some. Hurry up and go to school. Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing came just now. I let her go first and didn't wait for you. Today. Lin Yi, Meng Yao, and Yushu were definitely late, but the teachers wouldn't punish them too harshly if they were late for classes. Only Lin Yi's minor was different. Boss Bai's method was very special, but it didn't work on Lin Yi. Lin Yi was someone who passed his special exam, and he could be late or ask for leave anytime he wanted. He wasn't restricted by the rules, and that was why Lin Yi let Han Jingjing go first. Meng Yao and Yushu shouldn't be a problem either. After all, the other majors weren't as strict as Boss Bai. Wow, it smells so good. Shu came to the kitchen and saw the poached eggs and lean meat porridge that Lin Yi had prepared. Her mouth watered. Meng Yao noticed that Yushu seemed to have returned to her usual liveliness, and so she didn't ask about what happened yesterday. He didn't ask any more. He guessed that she might be tired or had caught a cold. After breakfast, the three of them went to school. Lin Yi watched as Meng Yao and Yushu went to the economics department, and he walked into the biology building. But when he walked into the class, Lin Yi was a little nervous. It wasn't because Boss Bai was a teacher, but because Lin Yi didn't know how to face Wang Xinyan, who had failed his confession yesterday. He didn't know if Wang Xinyan would reject and distance herself from him because of this. If that was the case, then it wouldn't be worth it. Lin Yi took a deep breath and walked into the classroom. But what surprised Lin Yi was that Boss Bai wasn't in the classroom. Although the students were all studying, Boss Bai really didn't come. Although Lin Yi wasn't afraid of Boss Bai finding fault, it was best if he wasn't late. Lin Yi glanced at the classroom window and saw that Wang Xinyan was still sitting in her original seat, and behind her was Han Jingjing. At least on the surface, there didn't seem to be anything wrong. She was still sitting in the middle of the row, not at the side. Taking over Lin Yi's seat meant that she was indirectly rejecting Lin Yi from sitting next to her. But Wang Xinyan didn't do that, and this made Lin Yi feel relieved. If Wang Xinyan rejected Lin Yi, it would be a problem for Lin Yi's future training. So this time, Lin Yi walked to Wang Xinyan's side naturally and sat right next to her. Wang Xinyan was reading her book as usual, as if she didn't care at all about Lin Yi sitting there. But Lin Yi could see from the slight movement of her eyelashes that she was actually quite nervous. "Xinyan, thank you for yesterday." Lin Yi tried to find something to talk about. In fact, Lin Yi had already thanked Wang Xinyan yesterday. "It's nothing. We're good friends." Wang Xinyan's voice was obviously nervous. "All right, class is about to start, let's not talk anymore." "Haha, all right then. Let's go to class then," Lin Yi said with a chuckle. He could tell that Xinyan was like a frightened little bird, and he didn't want to provoke her any further. It was for the best that everyone was fine with each other in this situation. But Lin Yi didn't know what Wang Xinyan's real concern was. Was it because of the Xiao family, or the Kong family? Or was it because of some other reason? Lin Yi didn't really believe that Wang Xinyan didn't like him. After all, their relationship had exceeded that of normal classmates, and was even better than good friends. If they were of the same sex, they could be described as gay friends, but if they were of the opposite sex, it was more than just friendship. However, what happened next made him feel even more incredulous. Was it premeditated by Wang Xinyan, or was it a coincidence? Because at that moment, Boss Bai walked into the classroom, and behind him was House Kang's Kang Xiaolong. Chapter 24:10. But very quickly, Lin Yi understood that this most likely had nothing to do with Xinyan, because when Xinyan saw Xiaolong, her expression was the same as if she saw something unbelievable. "Something was delayed today, because I had to receive a student," Boss Bai said slowly. Boss Bai's voice sounded slowly. "Kang Xiaolong is also from our department. He's everyone's senior, and he's currently a PhD student under my tutelage. He's currently writing his PhD thesis, and he came to me today, saying that he's looking for inspiration in class. So in the future, Kang Xiaolong will be part of our class." Boss Bai had no reason to reject Xiaolong's request. Although Xiaolong wasn't the most outstanding student under him, he was a very hard-working student, following Boss Bai all the way from undergraduate to PhD. So when Xiaolong wanted to sit in, Boss Bai agreed without hesitation. "Hello everyone, I'm Xiaolong, your senior. If you have any problems with medicine in the future, you can come to me anytime." Xiaolong introduced himself generously. His eyes swept across the students and finally landed on Xinyan, who was sitting beside Lin Yi. Seeing Xinyan and Lin Yi together, Xiaolong felt a surge of anger. This was his woman, and she was sitting with his enemy, Lin Yi. This was a huge insult to him. But Xiaolong was a very shrewd person, and he wouldn't get angry in a situation like this. He only stared at Xinyan. Xinyan could feel Xiaolong's fiery gaze on her. She felt uncomfortable. Xinyan didn't expect Xiaolong to suddenly appear in her class. She had just brought up the cancellation of the engagement with her family yesterday. Today, Xiaolong came chasing after her. Was he trying to show off his power? She wasn't worried that Xiaolong would catch her in the act if she was with Lin Yi. She was worried that Xiaolong would use the power of the Sky Elixir sect to harm Lin Yi. Then all his efforts would go down the drain. Xiaolong had caught her off guard. If she had known that Xiaolong would come, she wouldn't have sat with Lin Yi. But it was too late now. Xiaolong's gaze was filled with possession. How could Xinyan not feel it? Lin Yi, on the other hand. After a moment of shock, he calmed down. Xiaolong was here. This wasn't just a matter of coincidence, but why was House Kong so bold? Letting Xiaolong come here? House Kong was backed by the Hidden House Yu. Although Lin Yi couldn't do anything to the Hidden House Yu, the Hidden House Yu wouldn't dare to do anything to Lin Yi either. Especially after the Hidden House Summit, the Yu family didn't dare to act rashly. This could be seen from the fact that the Hidden Yu family suffered losses one after another, but they didn't dare to make a fart. Plus, Xiaolong had injured Elder Bai so badly that the news would have gotten out a long time ago. Xiaolong appearing here now was just too weird. Was he really here to chase after Xinyan? With Lin Yi's understanding of the Kangs, it was hard for him to believe this was real. Lin Yi didn't have much contact with Xiaolong. But from the way he did things, Lin Yi could tell that he was a sinister person. A person like that, coming to this mess when House Kong was in such a weak state, was something that Lin Yi couldn't believe. With that thought, Lin Yi raised his head and looked at Xiaolong faintly. His sharp gaze made Xiaolong's heart skip a beat. He didn't dare look at Lin Yi anymore. Kong Xiaolong was furious, but he didn't dare to look Lin Yi in the eye. Although the Kong family's confidence was extremely inflated, it was still under the Yu family's bluff. Kong Xiaoming was very cautious. Without any clear support, Xiaolong didn't dare to go against Lin Yi. But he wasn't afraid of Lin Yi. He didn't come here to go against Lin Yi. He just wanted to steal his fiancée from Lin Yi's hands and humiliate Lin Yi. After all, he was in the right. He was engaged to Xinyan, and they were in Boss Bai's class. He believed that Lin Yi wouldn't dare do anything to him. It was the rule. In fact, he'd been suppressed for too long. He had the mindset of a villain. Under Lin Yi's suppression, House Kong didn't have a chance to breathe. Ever since Lin Yi brought Kong Xiaobo and that bitch to Dr. Kang's birthday banquet, House Kong had been going downhill. Now that they could make a comeback, it would cheer them up. So, Xiaolong ignored Lin Yi's cold stare and walked to Coiling Tiger's seat. Today, Coiling Tiger sat by himself. His underlings, Yellow and Purple, sat behind him, purposely giving their seats to Xiaolong. After Xiaolong sat down, Boss Bai started his lecture. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't think much of him. Xinyan, on the other hand, was visibly uncomfortable. Her face was filled with worry. Xinyan, you actually don't want to marry Xiaolong, right? Lin Yi saw her uneasiness and asked. Ah. Xinyan jumped. She didn't expect Lin Yi to ask like that. It was hard for her to answer. Xinyan thought that she'd harden her heart and act like nothing happened when she faced Lin Yi. She'd lie to Lin Yi, say that she didn't like him, that she was engaged, and that they were just good friends. But when the words came to her mouth, they weren't as straightforward as they were with Meng Yao yesterday. She stuttered, not knowing what to say. She couldn't lie to Lin Yi. And so, Xinyan was in a difficult position. She hesitated for a long time before saying, Lin Yi, we're good friends, and I'm not afraid of a crooked shadow. Xiaolong may be my fiancé, but he can't cause trouble for me because of this. I won't allow him to restrict my freedom to make friends. Lin Yi didn't know if he should laugh or cry at Xinyan's nonsensical question, but this only served to further confuse Xinyan's thoughts. Logically speaking, Xinyan had a fiancé, and if her heart was really on her fiancé's side, she wouldn't be this close to Lin Yi, let alone sitting next to him at school. But if Xinyan didn't like Xiaolong, why would she marry him? Why would she say that she had a fiancé and emphasize that they were just friends? Let's go to class. It's been a while since you last came. You've fallen behind a lot, haven't you? These are my notes. Make a copy, Xinyan said calmly as she pushed her notes to Lin Yi. Chapter 24:11. Alright, thanks. Lin Yi had no choice but to nod and stop talking about it. However, what Lin Yi was learning were some of Boss Bai's unique opinions in class, as well as some random notes that he mentioned occasionally, which gave Lin Yi a refreshing feeling. As for Wang Xinyan's notes, they were all rigid knowledge, but Lin Yi knew all of these things, so after flipping through a few pages, Lin Yi closed the notes. Right now, Lin Yi's main goal was to train. As for the knowledge of medicinal properties, Lin Yi didn't care too much about it. His medical skills were more than enough for daily treatment, and since Lin Yi couldn't become a refiner for the time being, he didn't have much interest in learning. Training was still Lin Yi's goal, so Lin Yi had to make use of this great opportunity to train hard. Seeing Lin Yi close his eyes, Wang Xinyan knew that Lin Yi was training. After a slight hesitation, she took off her jacket and moved towards Lin Yi, pretending to be careless. However, her trembling body betrayed her. Although Lin Yi had his eyes closed, he was still able to sense everything in the outside world, even the new ideas that Boss Bai had brought up. Wang Xinyan's actions calmed Lin Yi down, but at the same time, he was a bit puzzled. If Wang Xinyan was still the same as before, not ruling out helping him train in this kind of embarrassing way, then why did she bring up Zhaolong as her fiancé? Since he couldn't figure it out, Lin Yi could only give up and slowly observe. Don't try to guess what a girl was thinking. As expected, guessing would only add to his troubles. Boss Bai was used to Lin Yi closing his eyes in class, but since Lin Yi had passed his exam, it didn't matter even if he didn't come to class. He naturally wouldn't care. Zhaolong sat beside Yu Panhu. Although he felt honored that Kang Mingming had been accepted as the last disciple of the Sky Elixir sect's fifth elder, and his status had been elevated a lot. But in front of Right Coiling Tiger, Zhaolong didn't go overboard. He was not an idiot. Although the Kang family seemed to be very powerful now, no matter what, the Kang family's foundation was too weak. The Yu family was an old hidden family and an alchemy family. The Heavenly Elixir sect valued them very much. Naturally, it was not something that the current Kang family could compare with. Of course, if Kang Xiaoming really did become an elder of the Sky Elixir sect one day, Kang Xiaolong wouldn't have to lower himself to Tiger Right anymore. Brother Yu, nice to meet you for the first time. Please take care of me. Although the two of them had talked on the phone before, it was the first time they had met in person. They had only seen each other in photos. Hee, Brother Kang must be joking. It's Brother Kang who will take care of our house Yu in the future. Right Coiling Tiger wasn't the head of the Yu family. At most, he would be an elder. But Zhaolong was different. Kang Mingming had left to become an elder of the Sky Elixir sect. He couldn't return to be the head of the Kang family. The head of the Kang family had to be Zhaolong. There was no one else, so Yu Panhu didn't have a high status. Take care of each other, Zhaolong laughed. Right, Brother Yu? I heard that Wang Xinyan and Lin Yi are very close? Yes, they are. Right Coiling Tiger nodded. Brother Kang, I have to remind you that Wang Xinyan is your fiancé. I have to remind you, Wang Xinyan is your fiancé, after all. It's not right for her to be with Lin Yi. Yes, Brother Yu. You know my family's situation. In the past, our Kang family could only be considered as a low-class family. We only rose because of my brother Xiaoming. So, if I were to fight with Lin Yi, I wouldn't be his match. Zhaolong didn't hide it and told the truth. After all, Lin Yi is a practitioner. If I were to fight with him, even if Xiaoming could get revenge, I'd be at a disadvantage. That's true. Right Coiling Tiger nodded. I won't hide it from you. Lin Yi is a very strange kid. I've suffered a bit from him. If we were to compare strength, we wouldn't be his match. Unless a Sky class gets involved, we won't be his match. You know about the Hidden House Zhao, right? Their Earth class late phase peak elder Bai was crippled by Lin Yi in one move. With this kid's strength, I'm afraid even an early phase Sky class won't be his match. Hiss. Zhaolong sucked in a cold breath. His mind cleared up a lot. Even an early phase Sky class won't be his match. Thank God he didn't provoke him. Otherwise, he wouldn't even know how he died. But you don't have to worry. Right Coiling Tiger waved his hand. Boss Bai, you and I know the rules of the class, and so does Lin Yi. He won't do anything to you. Dirty tricks are fine, but if you really do it, Boss Bai won't agree. What Boss Bai hates the most is killing each other in the same class. That's true. Xiaolong understood this, naturally, but what's Boss Bai's background? Can he scare Lin Yi? Boss Bai, heh, the Sky Elixir sect is really strong, right? Right. Coiling Tiger paused. Even the Sky Elixir sect's ancestor, the Sky Man, respects him a lot. He used to be a top elixir refiner in the Jianghu. I heard that he came from a higher plane, but that's just a rumor. No one knows. Oh. Xiaolong paused. He knew that Boss Bai was strong, but that was only limited to the academic world. Boss Bai was very good at learning, but he didn't know that Boss Bai used to have such a prominent identity. However, he felt a little strange. Then how did he become an ordinary teacher now? It seems that he didn't control it well enough when he was making the elixir, and his meridians got damaged. Right. Coiling Tiger said, I'm not too sure about the specifics, but you know that he's strong. Lin Yi wouldn't dare hurt us. That's good. Xiaolong breathed out in relief. He started thinking about how he could get Wang Xinyan and embarrass Lin Yi. Lin Yi's not only close to Wang Xinyan, but he's also close to Han Jingjing. I'm planning on going after Han Jingjing, so Lin Yi won't be able to take care of both at the same time. I'll go with you to help Big Bro Kong. Right. Coiling Tiger had wanted to mess with Lin Yi for a long time, and getting in touch with Han Jingjing was also a mission from his family. He wouldn't let go of this opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. As expected, Xiaolong was overjoyed. That's great. This way, Lin Yi will have enemies on both sides, and he won't be able to take care of the second one. If we go after her together, he'll definitely make a mistake. That's what I'm thinking, but we need to think about how we're going to do it. Right. Coiling Tiger said. Chapter 24:12. That's easy. My brother is a master at hitting on girls. I'll give him a call and see if he has any good ideas. We can learn from each other. Xiaolong had never hit on girls before. He'd always paid attention to his image, wanting to be a clear contrast to Kang Mingming, but now it seemed that this was his weakness. But life was unpredictable. Xiaolong sighed at his brother's good luck, but at the same time he let out a sigh of relief. His identity as the future head of House Kong was secured, and House Kong would be able to soar to new heights because of Zhao Ming. That's good. Yu Panhu nodded. He was the young master of House Yu, and he'd never hit on a girl before. It was all girls throwing themselves at him, so he didn't have much experience in this area. There was a chance to interact with Kang Mingming, and he wouldn't let it go. On the other side, the two had reached an agreement. They looked at each other with a perverted smile. Without competition, Xiaolong had decided to go the perverted route as well. In a secluded corner of the school, a Mercedes-Benz R350 was parked. Yushu opened the door nervously and got in. In the car, an old man saw Yushu and asked, "Why aren't you dead yet? Did you do anything?" Yushu sighed helplessly. It's not that I didn't do anything, but Lin Yi's too strong, the resting grass doesn't work on him, impossible. The old man slapped the armrest in the car and raged, this resting grass was given to us hidden House Yu by the Sky Elixir sect. It's effective on any practitioner, so why doesn't it work on Lin Yi? I think you have feelings for him, and you don't want to do anything, right? This old man was House Yu's old master's favorite, Yu Yi. And him. The mysterious old man from the mall and the tea house, and the girl was naturally Yushu. It really doesn't work. Yushu said carefully. Lin Yi's too strong, the resting grass really doesn't work on him. And I almost got exposed. So, it's best if we don't do anything to Lin Yi. What if Lin Yi takes it out on House Yu? House Yu has support, why would we be afraid of him? Yu Yi scoffed. Lin Yi crippled Elder Bai of the hidden Zhao family in one move. I think you can only last 2 moves. Yushu's voice was a little nervous, but she said it anyway. Speaking of Elder Bai, Yu Wan went silent. He was only a sky class early phase, a line away from Elder Bai. Although the difference wasn't huge, it wasn't small either. So Yui was a little afraid. Especially after hearing from Elder Yu about what Lin Yi did in the Noble House meeting. Even Elder Yu wasn't confident that he could beat Lin Yi. Even a few Sky class masters had to gang up on him, so naturally, Yu-1 had to do it as well. If a Sky class could really take down Lin Yi, then House Yu wouldn't have used Yushu, a chess piece, at the risk of being exposed. They'd just let you do it. But Elder Yu didn't dare. Elder Bai was a good example. He didn't dare say that he could cripple Elder Bai in one move, but Lin Yi did it. Didn't that mean that Lin Yi was stronger than Elder Yu? You're speaking for him? Yu-1 was a little afraid, but he knew that Yushu and Lin Yi had a lot of things going on between them. Naturally, he wouldn't believe Yushu so easily. I have a recording here, listen to it. Yushu said, not bothering to explain. She pulled out her phone and started playing the recording. Oh? Yu-1 paused. He nodded and listened to the recording on Yushu's phone. Shu. What are you doing? What are you doing in my room instead of sleeping in the middle of the night? What's that on the floor? A knife? Are you trying to kill me? Lin Yi's voice came from Yushu's phone. Yeah, what am I doing? Oh. I know, Shu's sleepwalking. I was dreaming just now, dreaming that there's a monster in Shield Bro's room, so Shu came over to help Shield Bro fight it. Yushu's voice came from afar. Sleepwalking? You have this problem? Lin Yi's voice said. Oh, yeah, Shu's a little sick, I've had this problem since I was young. Shield Bro, can you take a look at me? Aren't you a miracle doctor? Yushu's voice said. Alright, Shu. Also, your sleep should be very good, so in theory, you shouldn't be sleepwalking. Plus, there's something called benzoin in the chicken we're having tonight, and it has a calming effect. You won't even be able to go to the toilet after using it, much less sleepwalking. It's even possible that you'll wet your bed. Lin Yi said. Ah. What benzoin? Yushu's voice said. You don't know? Lin Yi's voice said. I don't know anything. Yushu's voice said. Shu, are you sick? Lin Yi's voice said. Maybe. Shield Bro, did you just wake up? Did I wake you up? Yushu's voice said. Yushu cut it off, but these recordings were enough to prove that Lin Yi wasn't affected by the benzoin. Not only that, but he was starting to suspect Yushu. After listening to the recording, Yui's face darkened. He had some doubts about Yushu's words, but now he didn't. He could hear Lin Yi's voice, and since Lin Yi could call out the benzoin's name, it meant that he was on guard. It seemed that Lin Yi wasn't just good at practicing, he was good at medicine as well. I told you, Lin Yi isn't easy to deal with. I almost exposed myself. If I pissed him off and he went to House Yu, who would bear the responsibility? Yushu asked. Even if House Yu has someone supporting them, would you wait until you're all dead before you take revenge on Lin Yi? This is a serious matter, I need to discuss it with the head. Yui was silent for a moment before getting out of the car and dialing the Elder Yu's number. Yushu let out a sigh of relief when she saw Yui make the call. What a close shave. Shield Bro, this was the only time I could buy you some time. I hope you'll train hard as soon as possible. Yui talked on the phone for a full 20 minutes before he opened the door and got into the car again. Chapter 24:13. Yushu's heart skipped a beat when she saw you, but she kept a straight face. Yui closed the car door and said to Yushu with a gloomy face, the head of the house is very angry. You didn't handle this matter well. There's nothing I can do. Lin Yi is too powerful. What can I do? If you don't give me the antidote and let me die of heat, I can only accept my fate. Yushu was a little nervous at the point. She'd told everyone about how strong Lin Yi was to save her own life. After all, no one wanted to die. The old master will give you another chance since it's not your fault, Yui said. Oh. Yushu didn't think that her gamble was right. House-Yu didn't have the intention to kill her, but on the surface, Yushu didn't show it. What chance? Monitor Lin Yi. Yu-1 said, we absolutely cannot allow Lin Yi to interact with House-Yu's Yuning. If there's anything unusual, inform us immediately. Yuning? Yushu blinked. What's his relationship with Yuning? You don't know? Yui was surprised. He didn't expect Yushu to not know about Lin Yi and Yuning. What do I know? Yushu was even more confused. Lin Yi knows people from House-Yu? You don't need to know so much. Yui snorted and said, you just have to be clear, don't let him contact Yuning. Otherwise, we will cut off the supply of medicine to you. Oh. All right. Yushu nodded. Don't forget who you are. You're our spy in the common world. If you want to get rid of the fire poison and meet your parents, you'll have to listen to us. Yui said. Oh, my parents, are they well? A trace of sadness flashed in Yushu's eyes. She'd never seen her parents' faces since she was young, and she didn't even know who they were. How sad was that? The only thing Yushu knew was that they were locked up by House-Yu. If you're good, they'll naturally be good. They will naturally be buried with you. Yui said faintly. Oh. Yushu sighed. Every time she asked, the answer was the same. If she didn't secretly take Yutian's blood sample for a DNA test, she wouldn't believe that she wasn't Yutian's biological sister. However, she didn't dare to ask her parents about the truth of the matter, much less old man Chen. She was afraid that House-Yu would see the problem. To harm her parents. And House-Yu didn't allow her to reveal the secret. I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. You know the rules. Don't have feelings for Lin Yi, and don't lose your virginity. Otherwise, if you die, your parents will die too, warned Yui. Oh. Yushu nodded. All right, it's about time. You can go back. Yui said lightly. Okay. Yushu opened the car door and got out, her underwear soaked in sweat. It had only been half an hour, but she'd already been soaked in sweat. She'd experienced life and death. Phew, Yushu let out a long sigh and tried to calm herself down. On her face, there was that silly, sneaky smile again as she walked towards the economics building. Drive, you see, Yui said to the driver. Yes, big brother, Yusei replied. They're both young misses, but their fates are completely different. Yui sighed and muttered to himself. Big brother, what did you say? Yusei froze. He didn't understand Yui's words. Nothing, just drive. Yui naturally wouldn't explain anything to Yusei. There were many things that were House-Yu's top secrets. Only he, old man Yu, and the current head of the house, Yu Shaochen, knew about it. Okay. Yusei didn't ask much. He naturally understood the rules of House-Yu. Yushu returned to the class and informed the teacher before sitting next to Mengyao. Shu, what's wrong with you? You went to the washroom for more than half an hour? Mengyao looked at the time on her phone. She asked curiously. Oh, I got up in a hurry this morning and forgot to go to the washroom. Yushu stuck her tongue out. That's still too long, why didn't you fall in? Mengyao didn't ask any more and continued listening to the class. Heh. Yushu said, I almost fell in. The class passed quickly, and Lin Yi finished his practice. He opened his eyes and was about to say something to Xinyan when he saw Panhu and Zhaolong walking towards him. Xinyan, wanna go for a walk? Zhaolong walked to Lin Yi's table and extended his hand, inviting Xinyan. He didn't seem to care about Lin Yi at all. Han Jingjing, how's your pill refining going? At the same time, Right Coiling Tiger sat down beside Han Jingjing and asked. Let's exchange some pointers. Lin Yi couldn't help but frown. What were these two doing? One was trying to get close to Xinyan, and the other was trying to get close to Han Jingjing. Were these two prepared? Sorry, I want to read. Xinyan didn't show any disgust towards Zhaolong, but she didn't show too much passion either. She only waved the book in her hand calmly. "Ha, Xinyan, we're a couple after all. We haven't seen each other for so long, can't you give me a chance?" Xiaolong smiled. "Sorry, it's the end of the semester soon. I need to study hard, and there's still a lot of questions I don't know." Xinyan maintained her smile as she spoke indifferently. "I see. I'm a PhD after all. You can ask me if you don't know anything, I'll help you." Xiaolong reacted quickly. He could find a way to interact with Xinyan if she wanted to study. He smiled and sat in the seat in front of Lin Yi. It was break time, and the students in front of Lin Yi went out to exercise. This was a good opportunity for Xiaolong. "Oh, that's fine." Xinyan flipped open her notebook and pushed a question in front of Xiaolong. "Then I'll have to trouble you to analyze this for me, Professor Kong. What's the role of the burnt beetle nut in this prescription? Can it be replaced with other herbs? Is the effect of the replacement better or weaker than the previous prescription?" "Let me see." Xiaolong took Xinyan's notes, but his face changed when he took a closer look at the question. This was a very obscure recipe. Xiaolong hadn't even seen it before. Chapter 24:14. He didn't even know what kind of illness this prescription was for, let alone what the medicinal properties of these herbs would be after they were combined together, let alone replacing one of the herbs. After a while, Xiaolong's forehead was covered in cold sweat. But Xiaolong was a doctor after all. He didn't understand what this prescription meant, but he knew what the burnt beetle nut was. He said directly, "This burnt beetle nut is one of the Jiao Si Xian." The Jiao Si Xian refers to the burnt hawthorn, the burnt malt, the burnt shinsu, and the burnt beetle nut. These 4 ingredients have very similar effects. They're all good for treating indigestion, poor appetite, and indigestion. So, this burnt beetle nut can be replaced with any of the other 3 ingredients from the Jiao Si Xian. As for the effects, it should be about the same. Is that so? Xinyan nodded, deep in thought. But, what does this prescription mean? I don't really understand it. This prescription is basically used to treat indigestion and poor appetite. It also has the effect of soothing the liver and stomach, Xiaolong said casually. After you change it, the effect of the prescription is greatly reduced. Indigestion and poor appetite? This is a prescription for stopping diarrhea and dysentery. Burnt beetle nut has the effect of stopping diarrhea and dysentery. Where are the other ingredients you mentioned? Lin Yi said faintly as he glanced at Xiaolong. You. Then tell me, what does this prescription mean? Xiaolong's face darkened when Lin Yi rebuked him. Lin Yi's words made sense, and the burnt beetle nut did have that effect, but he felt that Lin Yi was being unreasonable. How could this prescription stop diarrhea and dysentery? You don't understand this prescription? I thought this was what your house Kong is best at. Lin Yi looked at Xiaolong and explained. Split this prescription into 2. One is for stopping diarrhea and dysentery, and the other is for nourishing the body after stopping diarrhea and dysentery. Ah. Xiaolong paused. He took a closer look and realized that it really was the case. Previously, he had been bound by the idea that there was only one prescription and one effect. He did not even consider that this was a combination of 2 unrelated prescriptions, so it was normal that he could not understand it. However, Lin Yi had said that the Kong family was the best at this. Xiaolong's face darkened. House Kang's weight loss medicine was the same trick, but it was exposed by Miracle Dr. Guan's company. It was a great humiliation to Dr. Kang's company. So it's that simple. Xinyan understood. She had been thinking about this question for days. It was one of Boss Bai's thinking questions, but she didn't have a standard answer. It was said that there was a bonus question in the final exam. It would be one of the 2 bonus questions that Boss Bai usually gave. However, these questions were very strange, and Boss Bai didn't give an answer. He had to wait until after the exam, so the students could only think about it themselves. Xinyan wanted to ask Lin Yi, but she remembered that Lin Yi hadn't come to class for a long time. He should be taking the time to make up for it, so she didn't ask. Xiaolong just happened to be in trouble. Xinyan's "it's that simple" came from the bottom of her heart. But when Xiaolong heard it, he felt that it was quite ironic. After all, Xiaolong was a PhD student. It was a world of difference compared to the knowledge of these first-year students. Xiaolong couldn't get angry at Lin Yi for stealing his limelight. He couldn't make a comeback, so he could only accept it. "Dr. Kong, you should go back and study. Otherwise, your thesis won't pass," Lin Yi said faintly. "Ha. This kind of question is actually a brain twister. It's not common in daily practice and research. It can't be used as a standard for knowledge." Xiaolong laughed. "There are so many doctors on TV who can't answer those brain-twisting questions. It's normal." But after saying that, Xiaolong was just finding an excuse for his mistake. He wouldn't have the face to stay here any longer. After saying a few words, he left with his tail between his legs. Right Coiling Tiger, on the other hand, had a bitter expression on his face. Because no matter what he said, Han Jingjing didn't care about him at all. She just ignored him. Han Jingjing was currently calculating something on her tablet computer. Her expression was very engrossed, as though she was not paying attention to the outside world and only focused on reading the books of sages. No matter what Right Coiling Tiger said, she remained expressionless, not even raising her eyebrows. In this kind of situation, even if Right Coiling Tiger talked like a river, Han Jingjing could only pretend to be deaf and mute. "Right Coiling Tiger, are you telling a story?" Lin Yi turned to the chattering Right Coiling Tiger after dealing with Xiaolong. Of course not. I just wanted to discuss with Han Jingjing about the experience of being a refiner. After all, we're all refiners. The more the better, Right Coiling Tiger said. "Oh, actually, Han Jingjing has hit a bottleneck recently. She's very focused on calculating something. It's normal that she didn't hear what you said. I talk to her, but she often doesn't hear me." Lin Yi explained. Then, as if afraid that Right Coiling Tiger wouldn't believe him, he called out, "Han Jingjing?" Han Jingjing didn't reply. She continued calculating. "Is that so?" Panhu Yu nodded doubtfully. After all, Han Jingjing didn't reply when he called out to her, so it was possible that she was immersed in it. "Yes." Lin Yi nodded seriously. He laughed inside. Han Jingjing wasn't stupid. She knew how to play along. Then what bottleneck did she hit? I'll go ask my grandpa. We can discuss it before telling her." Right Coiling Tiger didn't want to give up. Actually, she did run into some trouble. She just doesn't want to trouble others. Lin Yi pretended to be troubled. "Because this is really troublesome. Even I can't do anything about it." Even you can't?" Right Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's words. He saw how Lin Yi suppressed Xiaolong. He was afraid that Lin Yi would use the same trick to force him away. Right Coiling Tiger was very careful. When he heard Lin Yi say that Han Jingjing was in trouble, he didn't say that he could solve it himself. Instead, he said that he would discuss it with his grandpa. This was to prevent Lin Yi from giving him a hard problem. However, when he heard Lin Yi say that Lin Yi couldn't do anything about it, Right Coiling Tiger was happy. "Yes, but Han Jingjing thinks that this is troublesome. She shouldn't trouble you. She can solve it herself," Lin Yi said. Chapter 24:15. "I say, Lin Yi, you're not Han Jingjing. How do you know that she doesn't want to trouble me? Besides, we're all classmates. Helping her solve some problems is what I should do." Right Coiling Tiger's heart was moved as he said so. Listening to Lin Yi's tone, he thought that Lin Yi wanted to chase him away as soon as possible. Right Coiling Tiger naturally wouldn't let Lin Yi have his way. After all, he had learned from Kong Xiaolong's mistake. He was originally ordered by his family to get close to Han Jingjing. He wanted to see how good Han Jingjing's alchemy skills were. Naturally, he wouldn't give up so easily. I'm afraid that you won't be able to help after I say it. I'm afraid that you'll lose face. You really don't know what's good for you. Lin Yi said. Fuck, I already said that I can't help. If I ask my grandfather, he'll definitely be able to help. Right, Coiling Tiger said angrily. You're not me. How do you know that I won't have face? Besides, with our Yu family's strength, there's really nothing we can't help with in terms of alchemy. The reason why Right Coiling Tiger was so confident was that the Yu family had the Heavenly Elixir sect's backing. If the Yu family couldn't do it, the Heavenly Elixir sect could, right? That's why he boasted. Chapter 24:16. Since Big Bro Kong is so generous, Yu Panhu, can't be stingy either. I'll sponsor 10,000 as well. Yu Panhu finally found a chance to show off, and he couldn't let it go. He wanted to build a good relationship with Boss Bai, so naturally, he had to support him. Alright, since Yu Panhu is paying, then you don't have to pay for yourselves. Let's pay from Yu Panhu's 10,000. Boss Bai was quite satisfied with Yu Panhu's performance. Although this guy was a bit of a spoiled brat, he was very active in class activities. Lin Yi looked at Zhao Long and Yu Panhu coldly. These two were together as soon as they arrived. They were in cahoots. No wonder Zhao Long came back to chase Xinyan. Did House Kong hook up with House Yu? Then, the harmful prescriptions that House Kong came up with could be explained. It was probably House Yu who came up with them and asked them to produce and sell them. However, what was the relationship between House Kong and House Yu? Lin Yi still had to observe. The most important thing now was, should he go to the winter outing? Lin Yi looked at Xinyan beside him and asked in a low voice, Winter outing, are you going? It's a school activity. Of course I have to go. Xinyan said nervously. Oh, then I'll go too. Lin Yi was looking at Xinyan. If she went, then he would naturally go. He didn't have much chance to improve his relationship with Xinyan, and it would be best if he could use the opportunity of the winter outing to resolve the awkwardness between them. On the surface, Xinyan didn't say anything. She pretended to be calm as she picked up the textbook, but in her heart, she felt helpless. Now that Zhao Long had come to her class, the flames of war between Lin Yi and Zhao Long were about to explode. She could tell from Lin Yi's tone when he helped her with the problem. Lin Yi was very unfriendly towards Zhao Long. But Xinyan couldn't say it out loud. She was afraid of hurting Lin Yi's self-esteem. In her mind, Lin Yi was a person with high self-esteem. Secondly, she was afraid that after she told Lin Yi the truth, Lin Yi would go against the Kong family prematurely, bringing unnecessary trouble to Lin Yi. As long as he endured for 4 years, Xinyan believed that with her help and Lin Yi's diligent training, standing at the top of the ancient sects wouldn't be a problem at all. Looking at the development of the past year, Lin Yi had gone from a small character who couldn't even compete with the common families to an existence that could almost compete with the hidden families. For years, he seemed to have underestimated Lin Yi. But no matter what, now wasn't the time for Lin Yi to go against the Sky Elixir sect. She had no choice but to remain silent. Boss Bai started his lesson. Zhao Long and Tiger Right. He began to study it in a low voice. Big Brother Kong, this winter outing is a good opportunity. If you want to pursue Wang Xinyan, we should start planning. Tiger Right said. Zhao Long nodded. That's why I donated the money. This is a good opportunity. Let's see how we can make use of it. I have a good idea. Do you want to hear it, Big Brother Kong? Tiger Right and Wang Xinyan's relationship couldn't be good in a short period of time. After all, he was different from Zhao Long. Zhao Long and Wang Xinyan were officially engaged, and he and Han Jingjing weren't even friends. So he didn't want to get close to Han Jingjing during the winter outing. He only donated the money to please Boss Bai. Go ahead, brother you. I'm really a noob when it comes to picking up girls, Xiaolong said shamelessly. My idea is actually very simple. Let's go to the natural ski resort in Jiduan City first and see the environment of the ski resort. Then, we will find a way to create some romantic events. Yu Panhu said, don't girls like romance? And Wang Xinyan is your fiancé. You can invite her to do something romantic. I don't think it's a problem. You're right. Xiaolong nodded in agreement. I was going to ask my brother, but you're right, lil bro you. Let's go check it out this afternoon. Xiaolong nodded. Sure. I'll go with you. Tiger Right didn't just want to get close to Boss Bai and Han Jingjing. Getting close to Xiaolong was just as important. Naturally, he agreed. He came up with this idea because he wanted to get closer to Xiaolong. Hidden House Yu. Yu Yi reported Yushu and Lin Yi's situation to Old Yu and Yu Shaochen. In the secret room, Old Yu frowned. He seemed to be considering the feasibility of this plan. After a while, he sighed. Forget it. We can't kill Lin Yi for now. Let Yushu stay by his side. It'll be a distraction for him. As long as he doesn't meet with Yuning, the two of them shouldn't do anything to catch us off guard. Old Yu was just comforting himself. He didn't have the ability to kill Lin Yi. He couldn't do it openly or in the dark. He could only lie to himself. He hoped that he could keep an eye on Yuning and not let her meet with Lin Yi. Yushu could also keep Lin Yi in check. If there was any movement, she could tell him immediately. We won't find trouble with Lin Yi, but with Lin Yi's growth speed, I'm afraid that Lin Yi will find trouble with us first. Shaochen hesitated before voicing his opinion. Lin Yi's growth speed is simply too shocking. When he destroyed the common world House Yu, we didn't think much of him at all, thinking that Yu Huixing would be able to take care of him. But now, he's become our enemy in the blink of an eye. Yeah. Yui nodded. According to Miss Yushu's description, that Lin Yi is too strong. We can't poison him, and the benzoin is useless against him. We can only hope that the matter will come soon. We'll send Yuning away and push the problem to that place. We won't have to worry about Lin Yi looking for trouble again. How can we guess what's going on in that place? Old Yu smiled bitterly. We can only do what they want us to do. But if we succeed this time, whether Yuning and the others come back or not, our hidden house Yu will become heroes. That place won't mistreat us. It seems like we can only endure it for now. Yu Shaochen nodded. Not bad. As for Yushu, have you talked to her? Don't let anything happen between her and Lin Yi. Old Yu asked. Chapter 24:17. Old Master, I've already warned him, Yu Yi replied respectfully. Alright, don't mention this in the future. Make it our top secret, only the three of us know about it. Don't tell anyone else. Old Ancestor Yu nodded. Little Chen, give House Chen a warning, don't let Old Chen speak nonsense, or he'll be wiped out. Yes, Father. Shaochen replied quickly. In that place, the Xianchen ancestor, who was meditating in the 8 trigrams diagram, suddenly opened his eyes. His eldest disciple, Little Yi, jumped in shock. Master, what's wrong? Why did you open your eyes all of a sudden? Senior brother is out, follow me to greet him. The Xianchen ancestor stood up and walked out of the room. Little Yi paused and quickly followed, following the Xianchen ancestor's footsteps out of the courtyard. After leaving the courtyard, the Xianchen ancestor walked towards a secluded cave at the top of the mountain. There were many disciples who greeted him when they saw him, but the Xianchen ancestor didn't have time to respond. He went straight up the mountain and came to the entrance of the cave. Patriarch Xuanchen's second and third disciples sat at the entrance of the cave abode. The two of them were disciples who protected Patriarch Xuanchen's senior brother. When they saw Patriarch Xianchen, they could not help but be slightly taken aback. They did not know why their master had come. Master, you're here. The waiter hurried over and bowed. The Xiantian ancestor nodded but didn't reply. Instead, he said loudly, "Second senior brother, did you get anything from this isolation?" "Huh, Xiantian, you're fast. I just came out of isolation and you came looking for me. I can't even rest for a while." A powerful voice came from within the cave. This person was the second senior brother of the Xiantian ancestor, the Xuanzhen ancestor. "Second brother, I'm just worried about you. I'm just concerned about you. You've been in seclusion for 3 years, and I haven't even been able to see you once. So, I rushed over as soon as you came out of seclusion." The Xiantian ancestor heard that the Xuanzhen ancestor's voice was loud and clear. He knew that there was nothing wrong with his body, so he let out a sigh of relief. One had to know that when a cultivator went into seclusion. This was a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. It was a double-edged sword. If it was used well, one's strength and cultivation would increase greatly. If it was not used well, one would go berserk and might even die. After all, to go into seclusion was to shut oneself away from the outside world. If he really went berserk, no one would know about it, and no one would be able to save him in time. It was also possible for him to die in seclusion. Isn't 3 years a blink of an eye for you and me? Xianzhen ancestor smiled as he walked out of the cave and said, "Did anything big happen in the mountain while I was in closed-door cultivation?" Patriarch Xianzhen didn't look young either. He was a bit older than Patriarch Xiantian. From the way they dressed, they looked about the same. They both wore robes of the 8 trigrams, and they looked like sages. "Second brother. I'll tell you about the matters in the mountains later. How are you doing now? How is the harvest from this seclusion?" Patriarch Xuanzhen's expression changed slightly, but he quickly changed the topic. He didn't want his second brother to come out of seclusion. He didn't want second brother to come out of seclusion. "Not really." Patriarch Xianzhen sighed. "You also know that at our level of strength, it is extremely difficult to improve further. Otherwise, we would not have been able to do so. Otherwise, we wouldn't have spent all these years trying to open Heaven State Island and use it as an opportunity to break through." "That's true." Ancestor Xiantian nodded. "You and I are both at the great perfection of the late stage of heaven rank. If we want to take another step forward, we will reach a whole new level. But even this step is extremely difficult to take. Unfortunately, the sect doesn't have any information about this. Even the method of breaking through has been lost. We can only open Heaven State Island to obtain the method of breaking through." "That's right. Third brother, you should feel it too. It doesn't seem possible for us to break through Heaven State Peak late stage. With our current strength, we seem to have reached a saturation level. There is no point in cultivating anymore." Patriarch Xianzhen said, "If I'm not wrong, there should be a special mantra or method to break through this level. The previous cultivation method will be useless." "That's right. This is also the reason why we are so determined to open Heaven State Island." Patriarch Xiantian said, "That's right. Second brother, have you made any progress in alchemy? Can you refine level 4 pills now?" "I'm ashamed. If it's a level 3 pill, I have a very high success rate. However, if it's a level 4 pill..." Ancestor Xianzhen shook his head helplessly. "I don't have any confidence. I've tried a few times in closed-door cultivation, but they all ended in failure. I'm afraid only someone as talented as Big Brother can concoct a level 4 pill, right?" Sigh, speaking of Big Brother. I don't know if he has passed the hurdle in his heart. Patriarch Xiantian smiled bitterly. All these years, he hasn't taken the initiative to contact us, and we didn't dare to disturb him, that's right. If there hadn't been that accident, I'm afraid Big Brother would have no problem refining level 4 pills now. Patriarch Xianzhen sighed. When the time comes, the 3 of us will step into the heavenly law together and return to that level. How happy would that be? It's all my fault. I was too competitive and hurt Big Brother. Forget it, second brother. You don't have to blame yourself. It's normal to compete with each other. No one wants that accident to happen. Patriarch Xianchen waved his hand and comforted him. But second brother, all these years, you've focused on studying alchemy. You haven't even accepted a disciple. I'm afraid you also want to refine level 4 pills for big brother to consume, right? Of course. Patriarch Xianzhen nodded. I'm sorry, big brother. I've always been worried about him. Patriarch Xianchen nodded. He knew Patriarch Xianzhen's feelings, but in his opinion, the past was the past. Big brother didn't get along well with his 2 juniors. At least, Patriarch Xianchen wasn't particularly close to him, so he didn't like big brother very much. In fact, all these years, he had already found big brother's whereabouts and had his contact information. It was just that he didn't want to contact big brother. Xianchen was a person who would do anything to achieve his goals. In his opinion, a useless senior brother couldn't possibly bring benefits to the sect, so he changed the fact that he didn't contact big brother to the fact that big brother wouldn't take the initiative to contact them. To be continued. Chapter 24:18. That's right, third brother, has my seclusion gone smoothly? Patriarch Xianzhen asked. All these years, he had spent most of his energy on cultivation and alchemy. He basically didn't manage the matters of the sect. He only knew about Patriarch Xianchen's plan but didn't participate. Second brother. Patriarch Xianchen paused and said sadly, it's not going well, second brother. Something big happened a while ago. What? Something big happened? What happened? Patriarch Xianzhen's expression froze. He stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Patriarch Xianchen. What happened? Second brother, Taganlong has been crippled. Patriarch Xianchen sighed and said bitterly. What? Taganlong has been crippled? Patriarch Xianzhen was shocked. What happened? How did he get crippled? Second brother, it's like this. Patriarch Xianchen explained Taganlong's situation to Patriarch Xianzhen. When he was done, he said, originally, I placed my hopes on second brother. I thought that after second brother came out of seclusion, he would be able to refine a grade 4 elixir. Then, he would be able to refine the Great Return Pill and the Great Meridian Channel Conduit Pill, but, if he could refine a grade 4 elixir, boss would also. Patriarch Xianzhen smiled helplessly. In the past 3 years, I haven't been able to make any breakthroughs. I reckon that in the next few years, I won't be able to make any progress. There's no hope for a grade 4 elixir, therefore, I acted on my own and activated the backup plan. After all, a person with a 5 elemental constitution is quite difficult to find. After searching for so many years, we finally found Taganlong, a 1 in a billion person with a compound constitution. Patriarch Xianchen said. The backup plan. Patriarch Xianzhen nodded. He knew a thing or two about the backup plan, but it wasn't too detailed. Are you confident about the backup plan? Confidence. 50-50, whether the spy succeeds or not depends on what happens next. Patriarch Xianchen lowered his voice and whispered in Patriarch Xianzhen's ear. Patriarch Xianchen was actually afraid that Little 2 and Little 3 would hear him. After all, only he and Little 1 knew about this. Patriarch Xianzhen nodded and said, I hope it succeeds. I really didn't expect such a big thing to happen in seclusion this time, there's no other way. If it doesn't work this time, I can only slowly find another person with a suitable constitution. Patriarch Xianzhen of Patriarch. Taganlong, other than using grade 4 pills, is there no other way to recover? Patriarch Xianzhen asked. Second brother, you can go and take a look. Other than that, I really can't think of any other opportunities. Patriarch Black Earth said. Then, there. Patriarch Xianlong Patriarch, he's true. The two of them quickly came to the room where Taganlong was recuperating. Although Taganlong's injuries were under control, he had not woken up yet. His pulse was very messy, and Patriarch Xianchen was only temporarily holding on to his life. It was impossible for him to recover. Tian, clan. Patri, dragon, patriarch of, carefully. Patriarch Fong's right, in the blink of an eye, school ended at noon. There was no class in the afternoon, so Lin Yi said goodbye to Wang Xinyan and walked out of the classroom with Han Jingjing. Zhaolong wanted to go over and talk to Wang Xinyan, but he gave up when he thought about what happened today. He guessed that Wang Xinyan wouldn't be nice to him if he talked to her now, so he could only give up. Moreover, he had an appointment with Right Coiling Tiger to go to the natural ski resort in Jiduan City. So, he left the classroom with Right Coiling Tiger. Big bro Lin Yi, are you trying to scam Right Coiling Tiger's herbs again? Han Jingjing asked Lin Yi after leaving the classroom. Yeah, we don't have any herbs on hand, so we can only get them from Right Coiling Tiger, Lin Yi said. Since this kid came to us, there's no need for us to let him go. Oh, then how should I cooperate? Han Jingjing nodded. She didn't refute Lin Yi's suggestion at all. Next time he comes to talk to you and asks you something, just say that you lack herbs. Every time he comes, you ask him for herbs until he realizes that he's been tricked and stops falling for it, Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded. After Right Coiling Tiger realizes that he's been tricked, he won't look for trouble with me, right? If he does, just tell him that I was the one who told you to do this. Tell him to come to me, Lin Yi took the trouble directly. He wasn't afraid of Right Coiling Tiger. Jingjing understands, Han Jingjing nodded and said. There were no classes in the afternoon for medicine, but Meng Yao and Yushu had classes in the afternoon. Lin Yi called Meng Yao and asked her to have lunch together. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing arrived at the Economics Faculty's building, and saw Meng Yao and Yushu not long after. Seeing the smile on Yushu's face, Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that Shu's problem was solved, but Lin Yi couldn't figure it out. Who was the one who ordered Shu to assassinate him? Who could order Shu around? Or, in other words, what reason did they have to make Shu do this? It was just that Shu didn't want to talk about it, and Lin Yi couldn't force her. As long as she looked fine, Lin Yi was relieved. Lin Yi looked at Meng Yao, and Meng Yao nodded at him, indicating that Shu was fine. What do you want to eat for lunch? Lin Yi asked. Do you want to eat in the cafeteria or outside? Let's eat outside, Shu wants to have a big meal, Yushu said after some thought. Today's incident had allowed her to get away with it, and it made Shu feel like she had survived a disaster. Especially since she didn't have to target Lin Yi anymore, she was very happy. She wanted to have a big meal to celebrate. Okay, let's go out for a big meal, Lin Yi nodded. Should we call Xinyan sis? Yushu suggested. I'll ask. Lin Yi wouldn't have called Xinyan if he was eating in the cafeteria, but it was better to ask if he was going out. He dialed Wang Xinyan's number and asked, Xinyan, where are you? Jingjing, Yao Yao, and Shu are going out for some food, do you want to come? Me. Xinyan hesitated. Normally, Xinyan would have said yes. After all, she was close to Lin Yi, Yao Yao, and Shu, and Han Jingjing was in the same class. She couldn't say no. Chapter 24, an unexpected encounter, but the situation was different now. She didn't want the Sky Elixir sect to be angry at Lin Yi, so she purposely kept her distance from Lin Yi. I'm not going, I'll go with Mei Wei and Ling to the cafeteria. Xinyan, who's treating you to a meal? Why are you saying no? He Meiyue's voice sounded. It's Lin Yi, you guys still have classes in the afternoon, let's go to the cafeteria, Xinyan said. Afternoon classes are at 2, it's still early. He Meiyue snatched the phone from Xinyan. Lin Yi, you don't mind if Ling and I go with you, right? Naturally, I don't mind. Lin Yi smiled, then call by Weitua and Zhao Xingji over as well. Okay, He Meiyue agreed right away. Xinyan didn't know what to say, but she couldn't explain it. What should she say? Was she afraid that her fiancé would do something to Lin Yi? If she told the truth and Zhao Long heard about it, how would she explain it? She hoped that Zhao Long wouldn't see it and agitate him. Xinyan comforted herself in her heart. Then let's go. Xinyan helplessly took out her car keys and prepared to go to the parking lot. He Meiyue, on the other hand, called by Weitua. Xinyan saw Lin Yi, Han Jingjing, Meng Yao, and Yushu from afar when she got to the parking lot. She was familiar with all of them, but it was a little awkward to meet them again. She just rejected Lin Yi's confession yesterday, and now she was eating with Lin Yi again. It was weird. He Meiyue and Xiaoling were used to Lin Yi being surrounded by beauties. It was something between Xinyan and Lin Yi, after all. Xinyan sis, Shield Bro missed you so much. He kept looking left and right. Yushu called out to Xinyan. Xinyan blushed a little, and Lin Yi, on the other hand, was happy. He wasn't happy that Yushu had spoken up for him, but that Yushu was back to her usual playful self. It seemed that her problem had been solved. Yeah, Lin Yi kept talking about you. Meng Yao put in a good word for Lin Yi. Is that so? Xinyan's heart skipped a beat. It was a feeling that made her heart beat faster. Did she really like Lin Yi? But what should she do? Xinyan realized that ever since Lin Yi confessed to her, her heart wasn't calm anymore. Xinyan thought that she could pretend to be a normal friend in front of Lin Yi, but some feelings couldn't be faked. Her heart raced when she saw Lin Yi. It was a feeling that scared her, but it made her reminisce. He Meiyue and Xiaoling looked at Meng Yao and Yushu in surprise. Although Lin Yi said that he was asked by a relative to take care of Meng Yao and Yushu, he lived with them. But Meng Yao and Yushu were so pretty, and Lin Yi was living under the same roof as them. He couldn't say that he had nothing to do with them. He Meiyue and Xiaoling didn't believe it. After all, who wouldn't be moved when two pretty girls were in front of them? So it was natural. They thought that Meng Yao and Yushu were Xinyan's enemies. But now, they were surprised to hear that Meng Yao and Yushu were helping Lin Yi chase after Xinyan. Xinyan, it seems like you and Lin Yi have a good relationship. You missed him just after class, he Meiyue teased. Yao Yao and Shu are joking, right? Xinyan said nervously. Huh, joking or not, we all know about your relationship with Lin Yi, Xiaoling said with a smile. Sigh. Xinyan was really helpless. Her relationship with Lin Yi couldn't be explained anymore. It seemed like there was no way he could explain it. He could only hope that Zhao Long didn't hear about it. What if he got angry and asked Zhao Ming for help? After a while, Bai Weitua and Zhao Xingji ran over. Bai Weitua said breathlessly, I say, Lin bro, why didn't you say earlier that you were going to treat us? Zhao Xingji and I were waiting in line to sell our food, and we left when it was almost our turn. We wasted 20 minutes, we should have gone back to the dorms to rest. It was a last-minute decision, Lin Yi said with a smile. Why are you guys talking so much when you're here to freeload? Two cars, a Grand Cherokee and a Porsche Cayenne, left the school one after the other, arriving at a rather luxuriously decorated restaurant near the school. The restaurant looked nice, but it didn't have a private room. It was probably because it was close to the school, and the cost of living here was lower. It wasn't worth it to get a private room. There were booths in the hall, and Lin Yi and the others chose a bigger booth and walked over. Halfway there, Lin Yi felt a gloomy and resentful gaze directed at him. Lin Yi turned around and saw Zhao Long and Tiger Right, as well as Tiger Right's two colorful underlings. They were sitting in a booth not far away, eating. Zhao Long was naturally furious when he saw Lin Yi and Xinyan walk into the restaurant side by side. If it was before, Zhao Long wouldn't be this angry. After all, he didn't have the right to be angry. House Kong had always been a weak existence in front of Lin Yi, but it was different now. He was the brother of the fifth elder's disciple, and his confidence was inflated. Zhao Long felt like he didn't know his place anymore. But Lin Yi only looked at Zhao Long faintly, not wanting to greet him at all. He turned around and went back to his booth with Xinyan and the others. Fuck. Zhao Long cursed angrily, but he was afraid that Lin Yi would beat him up if he heard it, so he lowered his voice. His confidence was inflated, and he thought that he had the background to compete with Lin Yi, but he wasn't an idiot. He didn't think that Lin Yi wouldn't dare beat him up if he cursed at Lin Yi now. Although there were a lot of rules in Boss Bai's class, if you scolded and provoked others first and got beaten up, Boss Bai probably wouldn't stand up for you as long as you weren't beaten to death. It seems like Xinyan is interested in Lin Yi. Tiger Right clicked his tongue when he heard Xiaolong's cursing. That should be the case. Do you have any good ideas, brother Yu? Xiaolong was a PhD, but he knew nothing about picking up girls. He could only ask Tiger Right for help. Go ahead, yellow hair. Although Yu Coiling Tiger had a lot of women, they were all materialistic women who would come after throwing money at them. He Coiling Tiger had never pursued a woman who truly played with his feelings. Therefore, he might as well let yellow hair make the move. Chapter 24:19. Kong Bro, Master Yu, from what I see, that Wang Xinyan has feelings for Lin Yi. We just need to think of a way to destroy her feelings for Lin Yi. Once Xinyan loses her feelings for Lin Yi, Kong Bro will have a lot of things to do, Huang Mao said after some thought. Oh? What do you mean? Xiaolong's interest was piqued. He didn't dare fight Lin Yi head-on, and he wouldn't do something that would get him beaten up easily. But from what Yellow Hair was saying, it seemed like he didn't need to fight Lin Yi head-on, and that he could just use a roundabout way to get the job done. That was great. Kong Bro, we don't actually need to do anything. We just need to do this. Huang Mao lowered his voice and told Xiaolong his idea. Not bad, not bad. Xiaolong thought about it and nodded. Then I'll leave it to you, brother Huang Mao. I'll treat you to a meal after it's done. Don't worry about it. It's my honor to be able to do something for Kong Bro Kong. Go. Panhu Right actually wanted to make Lin Yi suffer as well. Lin Yi had screwed him over a couple of times already. Lin Yi looked at Huang Mao faintly, but didn't say anything. These people were sitting in a secluded area, and Xinyan and the others hadn't noticed their existence yet. It was Yushu's treat, and so he let her order first. After she was done, it was Meng Yao, Xinyan, Han Jingjing, He Meiyue, and Chai Xiaoling's turn. Bai Weituo and Zhao Xingji, on the other hand, didn't do anything. They were just gluttons, after all. A ringtone sounded, and Lin Yi picked it up, surprised to see that it was Ling Shan. Ling Shan. Lin Yi couldn't call her silly girl in front of so many people, but to be honest, it felt good every time. Lin Yi didn't know if he had some sort of bad taste in his mouth, but calling her silly girl gave him a sense of satisfaction. Thank you, Lin Yi. The kidnapping case has been closed, and it really was done by the fire wolves. The one who turned himself in was a small leader of the fire wolves. Ling Shan stopped there, because she knew very well that this small leader was probably the scapegoat. But as of now, it was very hard to find evidence to take down the fire wolves. The fact that the fire wolves were able to participate in the hidden house meeting showed that the fire wolves had a lot of connections and power. It's good. Lin Yi had expected this situation. Although the mastermind was most likely Jiang Wen, he was still a smart guy. He didn't leave any evidence behind, so there was no way he would do it himself. The only time he did it was because of Meng Yao, and he brought Lin Yi to the surgery table. In the end, Lin Yi's kidney wasn't cut out, and he lost one of his own. Didn't we agree that I'll come find you after this is over? Ling Shan asked. Lin Yi sighed, Oh, I'm free in the afternoon. You can come over now. We're at the young master chef's restaurant in the university city. Now? Okay. Ling Shan paused, but agreed. After hanging up, Lin Yi looked at the confused faces of his classmates. A friend of mine is coming as well. Ling Shan, Yao Yao, Shu, Xinyan, you guys know each other. Oh, it's Ling Shan sis. Meng Yao nodded, but didn't understand why Lin Yi would ask her to eat at this time. Not long after, the dishes hadn't even arrived when Ling Shan walked in. She was a practitioner, too, and her eyes were sharper. She saw Lin Yi right away and walked over with a smile. Lin Yi, Yao Yao, Shu, Wang Xinyan. Have a seat, Ling Shan. How come you're so fast? Lin Yi was surprised at Ling Shan's speed. I'm nearby. Most of the victims are students from around here, and Xinyan is here too. It saves me the trouble of looking for you. Ling Shan wanted to close the case, so naturally, she had to find the victims one by one. I see. Lin Yi nodded. Bai Weitua, on the other hand, was a little surprised. He thought that Ling Shan was around the same age as Lin Yi, but it didn't seem like it. He looked at Ling Shan curiously. This big sis is, oh, I forgot to introduce you guys. This is my good friend, Ling Shan. She's the captain of Donghai's criminal investigation team. You guys can look for her if you have any trouble in the future. Lin Yi said. Ah. Captain Song? Bai Weitua's eyes wide, he didn't expect Ling Shan to be so powerful at such a young age. More importantly, she seemed to be quite close to Lin Yi. How about this, if he ever met people like Li Biaohan who wanted to extort money, he could just look for Ling Shan. He Meiyue's eyes lit up, and the way she looked at Lin Yi changed. She knew that Lin Yi was very capable, but she didn't know that Lin Yi had this many connections. Bai Weitua, Zhao Xingji, and the others were introducing themselves when a girl with heavy makeup ran over. She looked at Lin Yi, Bai Weitua, and Zhao Xingji before hugging Lin Yi and yelling, Lin Yi, you heartless bastard. You got me pregnant and now you're ignoring me? I'm a high schooler. If I didn't know that you're a student from around here, I wouldn't have been able to find you. The sudden appearance of this girl made everyone's faces very weird. They didn't know what she was up to. Zhao Long, Tiger Right, and Yellow Hair, who had just returned, were all smiling proudly, especially Zhao Long, who gave Yellow Hair a thumbs up. Today's incident was done beautifully. It didn't matter if Lin Yi could resolve it or not, it would still leave a nail in Xinyan's heart. Many people would rather believe in something like this than not. What did they mean by there's no smoke without fire? If there was really nothing wrong with Lin Yi, why would she come looking for him? Even if Lin Yi explained, it wouldn't matter. Yellow Hair said that he had a backup plan. Even if Lin Yi settled it today, he'd spread the news tomorrow and make it sound like Lin Yi had no choice but to give the girl some money. Chapter 24-20. Huh. Bai Weitua froze when he heard Lin Yi's words. What does this have to do with me? Huh. The girl froze when she heard Lin Yi's words. Did she cry to the wrong person? Judging from what this person was saying, the one sitting over there was Lin Yi, and this person was his friend? The girl regretted her actions. She thought she saw it clearly when the yellow hair pointed at her. Who would have thought it was him? But, in order to be worthy of the 1,000 kwai she'd taken, and the reward she'd get after the deed was done, the girl had no choice but to raise her head and look at Lin Yi apologetically. I was in too much of a rush, I mistook you for someone else. With that, she threw herself into Bai Weitua's arms and cried, Lin Yi, you heartless bastard. You got me pregnant and now you don't care about me? I'm a high school student. If I didn't know you were a student from around here, I wouldn't have been able to find you. Bai Weitua was speechless. What was going on? However, as the saying goes, bystanders have a clear view of things. He Meiyue understood a little and didn't take it seriously. Although the little girl jumped into Bai Weitua's arms, this was obviously strange. How could Bai Weitua become Lin Yi? Meng Yao and Yushu, on the other hand, were the same. Xinyan, on the other hand, was a little startled when the delinquent girl came looking for Lin Yi. She had to admit that she really did care about Lin Yi, and that made her feel a little uncomfortable. She could accept the fact that Lin Yi had someone else. After all, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were both before her. This was something that couldn't be changed. However, she couldn't accept that Lin Yi was someone who liked the new and hated the old. Although the girl's appearance wasn't that good, Wang Xinyan still remembered her. She didn't think too much about it. At this moment, the girl turned back into Bai Weitua's arms. Xinyan felt that something wasn't right. Captain Song, there's obviously something wrong with this delinquent girl. She doesn't even know who Lin Yi is. Why are you crying so sadly? At this moment, Lin Yi said faintly, I think we should bring her back to the police station to take a closer look. There must be an inside story. After listening to Lin Yi's words, the delinquent girl was slightly stunned. She was obviously a little dumbfounded. He turned to look at Lin Yi and suddenly understood what was going on. It turned out that he had not mistaken Lin Yi for someone else. He was the real Lin Yi, but he had been deceived by his words. This made her a little angry, but also a little afraid. Bring him back to the police station? There are policemen among them? Song Yunxian nodded. Naturally, she could tell that there was something wrong with this matter. Therefore, she took out her identification and showed it to the delinquent girl. Please come with me. I think your behavior is cheating. The delinquent girl was completely dumbfounded this time. She was just greedy for the 2,000 yuan and came here to put on a show. However, he didn't expect to bump into the muzzle of a gun. There were policemen at this table. How was this good? Subconsciously, the delinquent girl turned to look at Xiaolong's table and the blondie. Xiaolong and the others were feeling smug and wanted to see how Lin Yi would make a fool out of himself. Who would have thought that the situation would suddenly change? Kong bro, master you, let's go. The blondie saw the delinquent girl look over and immediately understood. Of course, he wouldn't admit to it even if he was beaten to death, and Ling Shan couldn't do anything to him without evidence. Plus, he didn't get anything from Haosu. The yellow hair was fine, but he was afraid that Xinyan would find out the truth. If that happened, his help would be for nothing, and he'd end up worse off. Xiaolong would hold a grudge against Haosu. That wouldn't be worth it. Xiaolong felt that something wasn't right after listening to Lin Yi's strange words. The delinquent girl jumped into Bai Weitua's embrace and repeated what she said to Lin Yi. Xiaolong's face turned green. Later, when he heard Lin Yi mention Ling Shan again and bring the delinquent girl to the police station, Xiaolong knew that things were getting out of hand. If the delinquent girl spilled the beans about the blondie at the police station, Xinyan's impression of him wouldn't be good. Isn't this Xiaolong and Tiger Yu? Why are you in such a hurry to leave? Your food isn't here yet, is it? Do you want to join us and eat together? Lin Yi called out to Xiaolong and Tiger Yu. Lin Yi had seen through their plan from the start. Lin Yi was a mid-phase peak master, after all, and he noticed that Xiaolong and Tiger Yu were acting suspiciously. It didn't look like they were up to something good, so he paid more attention to them. It seemed that these people wanted to leave after seeing that their plan was exposed. Xinyan didn't know that Xiaolong was here, but she was confused when she saw Xiaolong and Tiger Yu getting up to leave. Blondie, don't leave. Didn't you say you didn't have anything? Why are there police here? The delinquent girl panicked when she saw that the blondie was leaving, obviously leaving her behind. She couldn't care less anymore and called out for help. Who are you? I don't know you. The blondie denied the girl's name. Weren't you the one looking for me, telling me to come talk to Lin Yi? The girl panicked when she saw that the blondie was ignoring her. Don't say things like that. When did I look for you? Are you crazy? The blondie humphed. Kong bro, master you, ignore her, there's something wrong with this girl. Officer Sis, I'm going to tell on that yellow-haired guy, he's the one who asked me to frame Lin Yi, don't arrest me. The girl was panicking as she turned to Ling Shan. He's the mastermind, don't arrest me, go arrest him. Fuck, what's wrong with her? The blondie frowned. What a crazy person. Kong bro, master you, I'm sorry. The blondie said that this had nothing to do with him, but no one here was stupid, especially Xinyan. She looked at Xiaolong and the others helplessly, thinking that Zhao Long was probably doing this to hurt Lin Yi and make her disappointed in Lin Yi. Xin Yan became even more vigilant after realizing this. Why was Zhao Long such a devious person? If this didn't work out, he'd probably use other dirty tricks next time. Xin Yan didn't want to hurt Lin Yi, so she had to keep her distance from Lin Yi. Zhao Long, Tiger Yu, the blondie, and the purple hair quickly left the restaurant, not daring to say another word to Lin Yi. Proportion. Chapter 24-21. Lin Yi smiled as he watched them leave in a hurry. Song Lingshan felt helpless as well. After all, she couldn't arrest the hidden house Yu directly. Even the blonde didn't have any evidence, but she understood what Lin Yi meant. Once the truth was revealed, they would achieve their goal. Big sister police officer, I was wrong. This is the 1,000 yuan that yellow hair gave me, I don't want it anymore. When the little girl saw the yellow hair and the others leave, she was a little dumbfounded. She knew that she had been abandoned. It's fine, you can leave. Lin Yi waved his hand, gesturing for the girl to leave. After all, the truth was out. It didn't matter if she was caught or not. Lingshan was only going to teach her a lesson. Lin Yi still had to give Lingshan a qi-gathering pill in the afternoon, so he didn't have the time to study the girl. Can I really go now? The delinquent girl was pleasantly surprised. You can leave. Don't let others use you for small profits again, Lingshan nodded. Since the victim, Lin Yi, didn't say anything, she wouldn't do anything. Thank you, thank you. It won't happen again. I knew those people weren't good people. The girl thanked Lin Yi profusely and cursed the blonde's group before leaving carefully. This farce ended just like that. Lin Yi smiled helplessly. Lin bro, did you Panhu and the others find this person? Bai Weitua asked. That Kang Zhaolong, he called himself Xin Yan's fiancé. He probably doesn't like me, Lin Yi said. Ah. Xin Yan, that person is your fiancé? Bai Weitua was a little surprised. Xin Yan frowned. She didn't expect Lin Yi to reveal her and Zhaolong's identity. But thinking about it, she couldn't hide it anymore. Even if she didn't say it, Zhaolong would. Didn't he jump out to cause trouble on the first day? It was the family's decision, Xin Yan said. That was the same as admitting her relationship with Zhaolong. Ah. It's true. He Meiyue stared at Xin Yan, shocked. Then you and Lin Yi. I told you, Lin Yi and I are just friends. Xin Yan didn't seem to want to say too much. Alright, let's not talk about that. Even if I were to marry Zhaolong in the future, it'd be after I graduate from university. He doesn't have the right to interfere with my life while I'm in university. He Meiyue looked at Wang Xinyan. Then, he looked at Lin Yi. Bai Weitua, on the other hand, was more practical. He couldn't help but sigh, Xinyan, can't you break off the engagement? You and big brother Lin are so compatible. Ha. Xinyan sighed. There were some things she couldn't explain. It's the family's decision, I can't do anything about it. Oh right, Bai Weitua, can't you call me big brother Lin? I'm not used to it. You're not a girl either? Zhao Xingji finally asked the question in his heart. You think I want to? I call him Boss Bai. Some of my old friends call him Boss. If I call him Boss Lin Yi, wouldn't that be too much? Bai Weitua said helplessly. I see, that's true. Zhao Xingji nodded. Xin Yan let out a sigh of relief. Zhao Xingji's interruption was a good one, he'd managed to change the topic. Lin Yi looked at Xin Yan. He felt that she didn't mean what she said. She never mentioned Zhaolong when they were being intimate. She didn't even remember, or she wouldn't have taken off her clothes to be with him. But now she brought up Zhaolong. He could tell that she didn't like Zhaolong, but why would she help him? And Zhaolong was coincidentally in class, the day after Lin Yi's confession. What was going on? It wasn't realistic to get an answer from Xin Yan. It seemed like he had to find a way to ask. Because of what happened earlier, the meal wasn't very enjoyable. They didn't stay long after the meal. Lin Yi sent Xin Yan and the others back to school and drove Han Jingjing and Ling Shan back home. You're pursuing Xin Yan? Ling Shan was a detective after all. She could see the triangle relationship between Lin Yi, Xin Yan, and Zhao Long. With Bai Weituo's question, it was pretty much the truth. Yeah. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't deny it. There was no need to hide this. Many people knew that he confessed to Xin Yan. Can't you think about others? Like girls that you can hook without pursuing? Ling Shan said, annoyed. You mean Shu? Lin Yi asked. Silly girl. Ling Shan said softly. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. He turned around and saw Ling Shan's blushing face. She looked like a little girl. People who didn't know her would think that she was a pretty girl from a humble family. In fact, it had been a long time since Ling Shan showed this side of her in front of Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't call her dumb girl for a long time, and calling her Ling Shan sounded more intimate and proper. But when she thought about it, she felt that only dumb girl, brain-dead girl, and the like were the proper terms of endearment between lovers. Was there something wrong with her? Ling Shan sometimes thought about this question. When she called herself silly girl, it was like she was Lin Yi's exclusive property. It was quite a feeling. He looked at Han Jingjing, who was writing on her tablet. Lin Yi coughed awkwardly. Our relationship, isn't it? That's what you said. I'm relying on you now. Ling Shan was very happy to hear Lin Yi comparing them to a couple. She knew that it was just an excuse from Lin Yi, but she still took advantage of the situation. Aren't you relying on me now? Since when did I leave you behind? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. That's true. Ling Shan thought about it. It was true that Lin Yi always thought of her when there was something good, but their relationship had always been lukewarm. They couldn't take it any further, and Ling Shan had even prepared herself for dual practicing. Who knew that Lin Yi would give her a solo practicing? Lin Yi bro, Jingjing will be going first. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, didn't seem to hear the conversation at all. She got off the car the moment she got home and waved at Lin Yi. Okay, you can go first. Lin Yi nodded. This Han Jingjing girl was really weird. She liked him, but she never got jealous. She didn't like him, but she only shared her good stuff with him. Chapter 24-22. Han Jingjing's background made Lin Yi more and more curious. He sighed before turning to Ling Shan. Help me investigate Han Jingjing's identity and family. All right. Ling Shan said. It was easier for her to investigate, but she still said, but if she's from a noble house or a hidden noble house, or even higher, then I won't be able to investigate. You can tell that she's not normal? Lin Yi was surprised. Normal people don't need me to investigate them, Ling Shan smiled. That's true, Lin Yi nodded and entered the villa with Ling Shan. This is your new home? I've never been here before, Ling Shan said curiously as she looked at Lin Yi's new place. I really envy Yao Yao and Shu. Lin Yi could only smile bitterly at Ling Shan's words. He didn't know if she envied Yao Yao and Shu for living in such a big villa, or if she envied them for living together with him. Alright, where's the chi gathering pill? Ling Shan saw Lin Yi's awkwardness and didn't make it hard for him. Love had to be done step by step. He couldn't just eat everything in one go, could he? Ling Shan was a little envious of Xin Yan. She was Lin Yi's classmate, and Lin Yi's deskmate too. These two hadn't interacted much before university, and Lin Yi and Xin Yan weren't even that close to Ling Shan, but in just a few short months of school, the two were already close enough to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Ling Shan couldn't help but be envious of Lin Yi. But Ling Shan didn't have that kind of advantage, so she had to do it step by step. Here's 3 chi gathering pills, one for you, one for Yutian, and one for Junbro. Give them to them, I won't ask them to come and get them one by one. There's no danger with this, other than feeling a little sad. There's no other side effects. Just hold on, Lin Yi said as he passed a bottle to Ling Shan. All right. Ling Shan said as she took the bottle, a little disappointed and happy at the same time. If it had been in the past, she would have been very happy to get a small chi gathering pill to help her break through to Earth stage. Earth rank was a rank that she had never dreamed of. But now, Ling Shan's mind was on Lin Yi, and Lin Yi gave her the bottle the moment he arrived. After she took the bottle, wouldn't she have to leave very quickly? Ling Shan's face darkened at the thought. What's wrong? Lin Yi sensed Ling Shan's disappointment as well. It's nothing, I'll head back first then. The kidnapping case isn't over yet, I still have some things to do. Ling Shan didn't want to put Lin Yi in a difficult position, so she prepared to leave. Lin Yi could see that Ling Shan's interest was waning, and he understood why she was like this after some thought. However, Lin Yi really hadn't thought about the problem between him and Ling Shan. It wasn't that Lin Yi didn't like Ling Shan, it was just that the two didn't have many opportunities to interact with each other, and Lin Yi did have a good impression of her. But there wasn't any opportunity to develop their relationship, and their relationship had been stagnant. He'd be lying to himself if he said that he'd accept Ling Shan right away. Alright, then I won't keep you. Silly girl, I've been quite busy lately, and I still have a test in a few days. We'll meet up when I come back, Lin Yi said. Ling Shan felt a lot better after hearing Lin Yi's words. She felt much better. It seemed that Lin Yi still cared about her. The two hadn't reached that step yet, but there was still hope. Ling Shan was happy again. She realized that when she was with Lin Yi, she really did seem like a silly girl, because she felt that she was a little silly. After sending Ling Shan off, Lin Yi went to the villa's backyard, preparing to activate the 6th and 7th forms of the Fiery Fist. Logically speaking, he was an Earth-class late-phase peak now, and he should be able to activate the 6th or even 7th form of the Fiery Fist. If he could activate the 6th and 7th forms of the Fiery 8 Trigram Palms, then it would be quite heaven-defying. It would be equivalent to a Sky-class early-phase peak or even early-phase peak. He had just broken through yesterday, and with what happened with Shu, Lin Yi didn't have the mood to study martial arts. Now that he had time, and nothing else to do, Lin Yi naturally started thinking about martial arts. Lin Yi started channeling the mantra for the Fiery Fist. This was a martial art that Lin Yi relied on a lot. Although there was a stronger Fiery 8 Trigram Palms later, Lin Yi still hadn't given up on the Fiery Fist. This was the foundation. Without the 6th and 7th forms of the Fiery Fist, where would he get the 6th and 7th forms of the Fiery 8 Trigram Palms? As for Pu Lao's sky-splitting earth-splitting claw, Lin Yi didn't plan on practicing it. That thing wasn't very powerful, and it was only effective against Pu Lao. Now that he was dead, there was no point for Lin Yi to practice it. Fiery Fist, 6th form. Lin Yi followed the method of activating the 6th form of the Frenzy Fist easily. It could be said that he had succeeded on the first try. However, Lin Yi wasn't satisfied with the 6th form because it was within Lin Yi's expectations. A mid-earth class could activate the 5th form, Fiery Fist. If a peak mid-earth class couldn't activate the 6th form, then it would be a bit of a regression. Lin Yi's main goal today was to activate the 7th form, Fiery Fist. If he could activate the 7th form, then he would definitely be able to successfully activate the 7th form, Fiery 8 Trigram Palms. Therefore, after activating the 6th form, Lin Yi didn't stop. Instead, he continued to activate the 7th form in one go. Fiery Fist, 7th form. Regrettably, Lin Yi had channeled the 7th form of the Frenzy Fist's mantra and activated it according to the 7th form, but he was stuck at the moment of activation. The 7th form of the Frenzy Fist didn't succeed. Lin Yi shook his head, but he wasn't discouraged. After all, for other practitioners, being able to activate a new martial technique within 10 tries was already very impressive. To succeed after failing once or twice was already a genius amongst geniuses. Lin Yi had only failed once. There was a similar situation before, so after resting for a while, Lin Yi once again activated the 7th form of Fiery Fist. Fiery Fist, 7th form. Lin Yi yelled again. What made Lin Yi feel a bit regretful was that he still didn't succeed this time. Although Lin Yi was a martial technique genius, he still didn't succeed this time. This could be said to be a pity. Lin Yi sighed slightly and frowned, but he didn't give up. It seemed like he'd have to go back to his old method, starting from the first stance of the Frenzy Fist. Chapter 24-23. Then, he practiced the first form, the second form, all the way to the 6th form, and finally, the 7th form, Frenzy Fist, was executed in one go. Lin Yi rested for a while, then started to chant the mantra of Frenzy Fist. He started from the first form, second form, 6th form, everything went smoothly. Lin Yi finally started to execute the 7th form, Frenzy Fist. Boom! The 7th form, Frenzy Fist, was executed from Lin Yi's right fist. The burning pure energy was even more powerful than the 6th form. The purple lightning beast and Skybolt pig, who were watching from the side, subconsciously shivered. General Weiwu, on the other hand, had accepted the fact that Lin Yi was extremely powerful since it was just a normal dog, so it didn't feel anything special. Phew. After Lin Yi successfully executed the 7th form, Frenzy Fist, he let out a long breath. Although the 7th form, Frenzy Fist, was executed in one go, in Lin Yi's eyes, it wasn't perfect. He could only barely execute it. This was very different from the perfect execution of the 6th form. He needed to get used to it for a while. Otherwise, although the power was great, he wouldn't be able to unleash the power of the 7th form. After this, Lin Yi tried to execute the 7th form of Frenzy Fist on its own. This time, he could barely execute it, but the power was much weaker than when he executed it in one go. It was only slightly stronger than the 6th form. It seemed that he still needed to practice the 7th form. It was probably because he had just broken through to the peak of the middle phase of the Earth class. Although he had the resting grass to stabilize his strength, the time he spent breaking through was too short. It was already not easy for him to execute the 7th form. However, Lin Yi wasn't too disappointed. Since he could execute the 7th form, Frenzy Fist, he just needed to practice it slowly. Next, Lin Yi wanted to try the Frenzy 8 trigrams palm. To Lin Yi's surprise, Lin Yi was able to smoothly activate the 6th style of the Raging Fire 8 trigrams palm, but when it came to the 7th style, he couldn't activate it no matter what. Fortunately, Lin Yi was mentally prepared. Starting from the first style of the Raging Fire 8 trigrams palm, he activated it all the way to the 2nd style, the 3rd style, all the way to the 6th style. Lin Yi was prepared to activate the 7th style in one go. However, Lin Yi was disappointed. The 7th form of the Fiery 8 trigrams palms didn't come out in one go. It was a failure. From the looks of it, the 7th form of the Frenzy Fire 8 trigrams palm and the 7th form of the Frenzy Fire Fist corresponded. Lin Yi was temporarily unable to use the 7th form of the Frenzy Fire Fist, so it was reasonable that he was unable to fuse the 5 elements 8 trigrams palm with it. Xiao Chen was afraid that he would have to activate a martial technique that he was familiar with before he could fuse it with a new martial technique. If the two martial techniques were not familiar with each other, it would be impossible to fuse them. Thinking of this, Lin Yi also gave up on continuing to experiment. He would wait until he could familiarize himself with the 7th style of Frenzied Fire Fist. Naturally, he would be able to successfully activate the 7th move of the Frenzy 8 trigrams palm. Lin Yi wiped the sweat off his forehead and was about to return to the villa to rest when his phone rang. He took out his phone. Lin Yi frowned. It was an unfamiliar number. Hello. Lin Yi picked up the phone. Hello, I'm Brother Gamble. Brother Gamble said carefully, may I ask, are you Brother Expert? Brother Expert? Lin Yi was stunned for a moment. Then he remembered that he did not tell Brother Gamble his name, and the account he gave to him was anonymous. Naturally, Brother Gamble did not know his name. So he said, "Brother Gamble, have you prepared all the money?" "Yes, Brother Expert. Thank you for giving me a few more days. I've already prepared the money." When Gambling Bro said this, his heart was bleeding. One had to know that he had spent most of his life fighting to become the boss of a casino from a hooligan on the streets. After taking a huge risk and earning money for such a long time, he had only accumulated around 100 million in assets. Of course, these assets were not in cash, but in real estate and stocks that he had invested in various places. Lin Yi asked for another 20 million in one go. Brother Gamble naturally could not take out so much money in a short period of time. In desperation, he could only sell a few properties and borrow money. After gathering enough money, he transferred it to Lin Yi's account. He did not dare to renege on the debt. There was a heaven stage expert in this group of people, and they did not even care about the hidden Zhao family's name. These people were obviously not to be trifled with, so Brother Gamble clenched his teeth and transferred the money. Not bad, at least you kept your promise." Lin Yi didn't think that Brother Gamble would be so obedient. He said he would give the money. Lin Yi had a lot of debts outside, but he did not collect them. For example, the hidden House Zhao and House Yu. But these people were clearly planning to renege on the debt. They had always been enemies with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi knew that he would not be able to get them back. So when he had the chance, he would strike them down. Just like a few days ago, when Elder Bai was crippled. If they had just paid up and made Zhao Qikuan the head of the house, perhaps Lin Yi would have let them go. After all, the hidden House Pai and the common House Wu had been against him before, and Lin Yi had let them go after they joined him. So it seemed that Lin Yi was a person who was easy to talk to. Heh. Brother Gamble smiled helplessly. "Right, after we left, did House Zhao's boss Zhu go find you?" Lin Yi asked. "He did." "Why?" Brother Gamble paused. He didn't understand why Lin Yi would ask this all of a sudden. "Seeing that you paid up so easily, I'll remind you of something." Lin Yi said, "Your casino, move out as soon as possible, in case you attract some unexpected trouble." "Oh." Brother Gamble paused, but he felt that Lin Yi wouldn't say things without thinking. There must be a reason for this, so he asked carefully, "Expert bro, what do you mean?" "Someone from the hidden House Zhao died, so they won't dare to find trouble with me, but I'm afraid that on your side." Lin Yi didn't say it too clearly. After all, Lin Yi was just guessing, think about it yourself. Hiss. "Thanks." Brother Gamble's back was covered in cold sweat. He hadn't thought about it that much before, but now that he thought about what Lin Yi had said, wasn't it exactly like that? Boss Zhu had come and asked him about some things, and Brother Gamble didn't think much of it at the time, but after thinking about what Lin Yi had said, he felt that something was wrong. No matter how he looked at it, Boss Zhu seemed to be trying to get him to push the responsibility onto the casino. "It's nothing." Lin Yi didn't think that Brother Gamble was this smart, understanding it so quickly. Naturally, he didn't know that Brother Gamble had thought about Boss Zhu's words and made a decision so quickly. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.